Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
Did you hear what I said?
It's a house!
Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains? There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Not sure where the rest of the screen is. Let's see, how does this work? The screen. Oh, there it is. Is that the one? Oh, that's not where I wanted to be. Whoa! All right, freaks, here we go. I wish my videos got more views, you know, the ones today. I mean, they did better than some of the more recent ones, but it's like, man, it's such important stuff, you know? It's like, I wish you guys would share the videos and, you know, hit the like button, etc. It's really frustrating. Maybe they'll do better. I don't know, but it's just, you know, 5,000 or 6,000 views on a case that should be getting like, I should be getting like 30, 40, 50,000 for sure. You know, what we came up with last night proves that we were correct, because today they put out the image of the person that we were looking at, but a close-up image. Right? All right, so while you're watching, you guys, if you could please help support the channel. My channel relies on you guys when you're watching. There's virtually no ad revenue whatsoever on these live streams, and this is kind of what I do every single day, the live streams. I don't put out, the videos don't do well either, because they don't get viewed as much, so it comes down to you guys. So if you like what I do, then please help support the channel. Now the thing is like, I notice things when I do my show, and then people in the chat will say, hey, what about that guy over there? And then we look at that, oh yeah, look at that. You know, so it's like a team effort on a lot of this stuff when we're finding different elements. There was something I wanted to show. So somebody emailed me. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I brought it up yesterday. Hey, thanks so much, Betty Black. Look at that dancing lemon, man. That thing is pretty excited. And then we had Saturn dreaming of Mercury. Look at that, huh? You're welcome. Thank you. So they pointed out something that was pretty interesting. And by the way, this video right here is where the new images took place. It's right. He's actually walking right through here. All right. And just to let's see, where do I have that? Is it right here? Yeah. Let me just show you this. I think it's pretty interesting. I was working on this. They, you know, whenever they post images online, the aspect ratio changes a little bit, and it's kind of a struggle to try to get the images and everything to line up. But let me show you this. So here we go. Hey, thank you, Stephanie Sprague and Coyote Mom. Very cool. Thank you. All right, so look at this right here. I'm going to zoom in. Oh, I don't need to really zoom in, but maybe once. There you go. So, see this right? That's where the guy is. So this video that they have him in is, looks like they've sort of smoothed it out a little bit. But see, notice all the bushes and everything lines up. I particularly tried to line up this little rock between his legs and this one sort of stick thing right there. If you look at when I turn it on and off, let's see, let me try that again. Hold on. It's close, right? It's not exact. I mean, it's not, they didn't do it where the image is exactly the same. So if you were panning out, like that would be like part of a much larger image, as a matter of fact. And like it would be, he'd be in here, right? We could try to do that later if you guys want. I could take this full image and put him in there. But what it shows is that he's kind of moving, like if I put the other one on. So that would be the first one. See, I also did the same thing with this. So he's walking like that, and then he goes like that. He's like moving across through there. See that? And he's got looks like a plastic water bottle in his hand. Yeah, we've seen you say that. It's not. Hey, chill. You're so obsessed that you got the wrong guy. You see this? And so what I do in these cases, you guys, is I'm showing you, I try to figure out stuff by back engineering what police have to get ahead of what the news is talking about. And the news still has no freaking clue. You are trolling, Chillforge. You know how we know that? Because the guy on the screen right here isn't the same person that all of you clowns that keep mentioning that other guy looks like. Now, it could be that other guy, but this guy here isn't that one. So why would you type in the same name at this guy right here when it's not the same person that you kept saying it was before? All right. So anyways, there you go. That's the movement. So he was obviously walking across the yard, and then if you look out from a distance, that means he was walking. There's that same rock and the twig. He was walking over here like this. So was that before that, and then he sort of turned around and then went back out and walked like that later? And by the way, this camera here also has that guy walking on it. They just didn't share it. What am I doing? Oh, a challenge. Bad Juju up there said they will match 5 gifted memberships. So if you guys out there gift one person and then another person and then another person, we get up to 5, they'll match that with 5. I don't know, Chillforge. I looked at the name. The guy does look sort of similar. And he writes, he has kind of a manifesto that he's written, about Palestine and all that kind of stuff. And who knows, man? Who knows? They did remove some information on him on their school website. So we don't know. Okay? All right. So anyways, what I was about to bring up a minute ago in the email, I mean, isn't that interesting? So here's the actual suspect guy walking by, and then this guy was walking by right here. So they're not being honest, though, in these press conferences when they say, we're interested because they were in the same area. That's just complete bullshit. Okay? The reason that guy is interesting is because he seemed to run after the suspect after the suspect ran. Now, there was somebody sent me an email, and it's interesting, and it's real, so I have to bring it up. Remember how yesterday I was kind of looking over here because he said to look over there, and I just couldn't see anything at the time? So let's just watch this together. So see him, this is him running. This is the actual suspect, the main suspect, the guy that we've been watching the whole time. So let's just go over here like this. So here he is running, and remember how it just sort of stops? Like right there. Oh, it stops. Now look over to the left right here. See right there where my mouse is? Watch. See that? See how that little darkness there? That's part of the 8 seconds of a still frame. So let's go back. I mean, it's pretty interesting. And this is real. This isn't some made-up shit. So that means right now it's 8 seconds later, and they're just filling it in with a still frame. All right? And then we're just going to go forward for like 8 seconds or so until the guy shows up. Then we know that... See this car right there? That's a moving car, and it's not moving. All right? I just want you guys to all understand what we're doing. It's not a bag. Just let me do what I do, okay? God, I get so frustrated with people. It's unreal sometimes. All right, so there's the car. Right when it moves, that's when the still frame that's the end of the still frame, and then the next frame is a moving car. So right there. All right, so now we know that the next frame is moving. Let's go right here. Now watch this. See? Watch. That was him. He was still there. 8 seconds, like 8 seconds later, he was right there behind that bush. Right there. See that? And then interestingly, so he moves to the left. He was almost like he was waiting or something, I mean, it does move right at that time. So maybe he ran and then started walking slower. But you see that right there, right? It's not an artifact or anything like that. See this? It moves to the left. See that? Moves to the left. This is something that somebody sent me an email. And if I look at it and it's real, I do it. So that, look at that. You see it. The person's moving to the left. That is the main suspect. And then you look up here, and look, the guy's coming around the corner, and then might see him over there, right? And then he goes, oh, and then he starts running, because he wasn't as far away as we thought he was. He actually slowed down. He wasn't 20 seconds ahead. Hey, there's Chris O'Connell. And you guys, did you not see the challenge up there? All right? I mean, it's really frustrating when somebody does a challenge and you guys go, yeah. Why point it out to me if you're not going to, help get the challenge in there? So we need 5. We've got Gene Salzman and Chris O'Connell, and we need 3 more, all right? Anyways, this guy starts running right here, and that means the guy was right there. So maybe he started running again. But it's interesting, right? Because the speed at which he was running originally, he would have been way past this spot, but he didn't. He stopped over here. And he waited there for, we don't know if he slowed down right there and just kind of started walking slowly, but he's still there. And then right there, he moves away. See that? And you can even see it right over there. Through the bushes, he moves by right there. See that? Boom. And then the guy comes around the corner up there, and then he runs after him. Okay? So that's a little new piece of information. What do you mean, who they say, man? What a stupid sentence. Do something that makes sense to somebody. You're not new here. You're a troll, PC Strickland. You know it, right? Hey, thanks, Saturn, Dreaming of Mercury, and Wisconsin Cat Mom. Hey, you got a troll night in here, Chris O'Connell. It's a troll night. All right, so what's weird is the media still, Fox News, everybody else, they just say, oh, they were in the area. It's ludicrous that none of these people think it's important that there is the guy is actually following him and runs after that guy ran. So obviously they're associated somehow. And then, I'd like to see this camera view. Apparently they're going to be releasing some surveillance footage of that guy. And I think you're going to see him maybe walk through here and, something. And then it makes you realize that when he was standing around on the street back here earlier, that he's like looking, maybe waiting for that guy. Look, because this is just right to the left down the street is that house that we just saw with the brick driveway. So look, he's like looking down there. Okay, is that guy there? Is he ready? It's just, those guys are connected somehow. Hey, thanks, Bad Juju. Hey, and thank you guys for getting the 5. We got it matched. And then we've also got Marty's Bar and Grill. Thank you very much, Marty. Really appreciate it. All right, so is this all making sense to you guys? This, and it's cool too because our map is very similar to the map that they have. However, they do have another location on here, which I thought was interesting. Where is that map? I think, do I have it in this folder? Let's see. 17. That's not in that one. I might have put it in the one with the guy. Nope. Oh, there it is, right there. So look how similar their map is to ours. I mean, just look at that. So you look at that, and then, you know, that is accurate. Like, I could have just went like this. We already knew that they went around that corner. Hold on one second. Well, why can't I right click on that one? There we go. And so this one easily, because we already know that he walked around and went around this corner like this, and then ran the second time around. So we have that. We don't have any evidence when he walked over there. So let's see if that's close to... Yeah, I mean, look at that. So they've got this one going around. Now, I tell you what, the thing that I don't have, didn't get right at all was my... Like this thing, I didn't think he would leave through this area here. I wasn't talking about when he's moving around. However, it seems like, if we turn that off, this map shows in red, that's when he's leaving. So after he walked this way, he didn't go on to this street and onto Angel Street and drive away. They have him walking over here, and that's surveillance that we haven't seen before. So that means he's walking over here on Ives. We've heard him mention that. So they have him walking from here to there, and that's surveillance footage that we have not seen yet. So he's right there. This is after. We have this. I just had him going up here and then driving away as a theory. So it looks like we could probably just get rid of this one. Let's see, where is this? Oh, is that the... Okay, it's all the way to there. All right, let me just get rid of it. And then we'll put it back in. And I think we can even change it to here, because apparently the killer came out from over here by the dumpster, according to Fox News. And then he came around and went like this. And then they have him just sort of stopping right there. They don't have any other information. So that one surveillance footage that we already have when he walks by, that's about it. And so they're looking for surveillance footage inside of this blue. And I just think that's a mistake, man. Have every single person in the area, the entire city, look for surveillance. And just give them a time frame. If they see something that looks interesting, give them a call. Or have them upload it somewhere, you know? Like, just don't stop. Oh, here's a square. And then there would have been somebody right there that, oh my God, he parked at his house. But we didn't know because we didn't ask that person to give us the surveillance. All right, so we're got this map pretty close to what they've got, for sure. God, you guys, why do you guys keep bringing up? I do think it's a possibility that it's some kind of extremist terrorist type event. Definitely possible, because now I don't think that person was observing, waiting for a particular person in terms of them being a student, although maybe the guy that we're looking at is a student and had seen this person before and then chased after him. And maybe, you know, I mean, who the hell knows, man, but they're connected in some way, and that person's important no matter how you look at it. What are you going to do, Chris? Gonna match Marty for 5 memberships. It's a reverse challenge. What does that mean? Well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Well, anyways, let's look at the new images today. I have a whole folder full of them. So we've got this one. Some of them are repeated. This is the new one that they put out later. Now, believe it or not, you guys, I found out where this image is based on this photograph here. Because that's how good I am at this shit. I don't mean to, toot my own horn there, but can you believe that? That I found, it took me about an hour, but I found this spot. And I was able to sort of, just by looking around, realize that this is where these little elements like this are when there's slope on the sidewalk. All right? And, then I would, hold on a second. Now I got to put that damn thing back in there again. Hold on. Right there, and then over here, that's when that one vehicle saw. And I think maybe to there. All right. But believe it or not, I actually found that location. And when I was looking at the image, I realized, I went down to look at sidewalks, and this is really thick. There's like, normal sidewalks have, they're only half that width. So I went down and I was looking over here on campus because I figured, okay, campus probably has thicker ones. And it was good news when it looked like that. It looked like two solid parts on both sides. And then I was looking around. I'm just going to go through through how I found this. And then I was looking around, like driving around, or moving around, not driving. I'm just using Google Earth. And you look at something, let's see where are we at? Or where's the front of the building? Yeah, right over here. Let's go right here. All right, so we're walking around, and then I noticed that there's a certain look you get. See right there, when there's a slope on the street. So I know that that's what we're looking for right there. That's what this is. See, this kind of spot like that is what that is. But then I was looking for, where is there a spot with these squares on it? So there's the sidewalk, and then there's these squares, right? So, I looked everywhere. I went up down all the different streets, and I just tried to figure out, like, where would he have walked from when he came around like this? So I kind of went on all these different streets, and then eventually I went up on this street over here, and we go down to the street view. And then I was looking on this side of the street first, and I saw like this. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, well, there we go. That's where I'm feeling. I've got some positive thoughts about that. See these little squares here, right? You see those squares, so I felt like I was kind of in the right general area. But then I realized there's no slope there. So I just merely turned around and went over here. I think I was just looking on the ground. And I think it was right there. There it was. It's absolutely crazy. But look right here. You've got this one, and there's one here. So it was kind of hard to see. But I looked at that side, and I said, oh, that's it. Now watch this even. See that little orange arrow? That's right there. Boom. Okay, you got that. Then back there's another one, which would be this one. And you can see there's also some more orange over here. And then everything matches perfectly. Look where, so you've got, this is where the little slope is. And then 2 tiles over. So here you go. There's the slope. It's in the second tile, and then there's that little square, and then right here is another tile, and then this one, and that's exactly what we have right here. So another tile, and then that one, and it all matches up. And then, by the way, even like look at right here, the little rust area, or whatever you call it. I'm going to move it over here, but watch. See right there, it goes from that corner up to a little bit into there, right there, look at it. It goes, it's the same thing right there as right here. So then I thought, okay, well then where the hell's the camera that's filming that? And it turns out that there is a camera, there looks like there's one right there even, but I think it's this one right there. Okay, so that one's filming down there. And that is the exact spot that he's walking. So when you compare that to the campus. I mean, look where that is. I mean, it's over here. So somehow that guy ends up walking around up in this area at some point. So I would imagine that's after that. So they probably followed him all the way over to there and were able to use that camera footage. But there you go. Isn't that sweet? Where's the boom, you guys? Come on. Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley. Hit that subscribe button, you guys, and make sure to hit the like button. Anybody disagree with that? That that's where he's walking? So I can disprove you? Because I spent like 10 minutes after I found it, I verified each little thing, and that's it. He's literally walking right there. Hey, thanks, Betty Black. What are your thoughts on the FBI's video when the cop rolls up and he seems to be right up the street? Oh, yeah, I mean, he's just walking there. I don't know what to make of it. The video that we see currently is before the killing, so there wouldn't be anything suspicious about him. Now, the one later where we see it from way down the street, and there's a cop car there, apparently that cop car didn't have its camera on, because you would have seen him perfectly after the murders walking across the street. Hey, thank you, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. Yeah. Anyways, so I've been pretty busy today. A lot of stuff. So what are you guys' first impressions of this? Some people think it looks like a female. I see what you're thinking. I think it's mainly because it sort of has that, Middle Eastern burqa feel. I think that's why it looked like he had a beard, because of this fabric that's sticking out right there. But I think that's sort of what you're feeling like, all right? And he still has something in his hand, and that one it looks more like a can just because of the lighting. But if you look at him in the earlier ones, like this one, it looks like he's got a bottle and he's literally screwing the lid on it on that one. That's a really clear picture. This one here should lead to an identity, and if somehow this person is connected, it looks like they've got glasses on their face. I mean, something looks weird about the face here. You got to admit. Like, I mean, what is there glasses on, or what is that line below the nose there? That'd be crazy if he was wearing some sort of a mask. People have suggested that. I don't necessarily, believe in stuff like that. But I mean, you can never rule anything out these days. It seems like. And by the way, Candace Owens today was a bigger lunatic than she'd ever been. I've never seen anything. I mean, she had 4 lies in the first 20 minutes. And then she was on Piers Morgan today and said, my fans are smart. And I'm like, she treats her fans like they are smart. And I think that's complete bullshit. It's the exact opposite. She relies on the gullibleness of the people watching. I mean, it's insane, you guys. Man. I mean, even on Candace, when she was on Piers Morgan, I was just like, God, my everything. I mean, he was railing it, like, hey, she's nuts, man. You got to go watch that shit. She is absolutely. I mean, she's very pretty and she talks clearly, and everybody thinks everything. But man, wow, unbelievable. So you think that's a mask, huh? Yeah, I mean. It's kind of interesting, right? I mean, what is that darkness right there? I was thinking maybe they're just big glasses, but I don't see any shine from glasses at all. I'm not sure why she is nuts was being held. I mean, they all look like students, right? So even the killer looks like a student. I mean, this could be... I just don't know why he was running after the suspect. This person, and then the suspect appeared to be waiting or looking around for this guy. Wouldn't it be weird if neither of these two people are related at all to the crime, but they were people that didn't like each other and they were just walking around. I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy. But hey, if you're out there and you're watching the channel, if you want to gift some memberships to other people, that would be great. I ask for the support from the people watching the channel. We do true crime the right way, where we try to put the facts together and reasonably speculate rationally on information that we're given. And we're very, very accurate here if you're somebody new to my channel. But yes, you guys are the sole source of the income that keeps the channel going on the live streams, because, as I said earlier, there is virtually no ad revenue on these live streams. You know, maybe $8 or something. It's just crazy. Who the hell knows? Almost looks like an eye mask that covers the nose. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Let's see. Let's look at some of these other ones. Like, I don't see anything like shiny on there. But I mean, if this guy is involved, why is he not caring? And that's probably because he's got this, you know, maybe he's got something on his face. I don't know. His face does look weird. You know, I say his. They're saying this is a guy. Law enforcement is. Yeah, I mean, you think for political reasons, Brown University doesn't want to, you know, because let's say it turns out to be a Palestinian that had grievance and then killed the vice president of the Republican Party on campus. That goes right into all of the crap that was going on this last summer and the full year prior to that all over the country with these lunatics that are like pro-Hamas terrorists. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Some of the stupidest people I've ever seen. Yeah, so I think they're going to release surveillance footage here. Let's see if there's anything new on the Providence Facebook page. It looks like a water bottle. And that just the angle of that makes it look like a can. I don't know if I don't think he switched to a can. You know. We're having one of those massive lulls, you guys. Already started. Yeah, it looks like they've got pretty much the same pictures on here. There's the press conference. I have that. I boosted up all the audio. Do you guys want to go into watch the press conference? I made the audio loud enough for you to hear it, and all the questions I painstakingly went through. Each time there was a question and boosted up the audio beforehand. Oh yeah, let's see. So they did have, I think it's www.providence, right there, .gov, and then it wasn't it tips or something? Yeah, right here. These are all of their, okay, that's one of the videos they released. That's another one. Not again, what? You mean the lulls again? Yeah. It's crazy. It's just so weird how it just like... Yeah, these are all the ones we have already. That one's natural color there. They didn't try to boost that one up. And that's the new one. Is that... Okay, that's him again with the satchel. And there you go. So this is... I guess I'll be checking this out from time to time. They have another press conference tomorrow. Yeah, I know he has a black shoulder bag. We've gone over that many times. I think I've said yesterday on the show that maybe he handed the bag to the other guy, or the guy handed him the satchel. We don't really know what was happening with that. So, Yeah, God, look at these people. They're so... Are you guys like trolls? You just keep typing in names. Mustafa, Mustafa. I got to keep saying Mustafa over and over and over again because I want to be right someday. Who knows, man? Who knows if that's the person? It looks like a possible suspect or whatever, and I guess we'll wait and see. Wow, thank you, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. You killed the long lull for some reason. I thought, wow, okay, we might actually make the goldenite without even having to ask, but here we go again. There was someone with a white tote bag that walks in the footage. Is that... What are you talking about? We've already gone over that. This is him right here, a white bag, see? Yeah. Yeah, we've gone over this 1,000 times already. Let me go over here again, and it's in here. Yeah, so that's originally when he walks by, and then a little bit later, then he walks back over there, and then somehow, see, this is cool, like right there, look at that, just look at that right there, isn't that interesting? You see them both at the same time, and then this guy runs, and then he does stop over there. We just proved it a minute ago. Right over here, if you missed that part, watch how right there in the lower left, he's still sitting there, and then boom, he runs away. See that right there? So that's him, and then the other guy comes by. So that means he stayed there, and then a little bit later, so he didn't have as big a lead as we were thinking. I wonder if he was just waiting for him, and then right there he goes, hey, right over here. And this guy kind of runs over to meet up with him. Something like that. Thank you, Betty Black. Wow, thank you so much. Look at that, you guys. 5. And Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. Then we have Betty Black. Very cool. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Anakin. I mean, this is kind of my wheelhouse. Whenever there's surveillance and stuff like that, it's... other people notice little things that I add in, which is pretty, it's cool. Because sometimes when we're just kind of going over it, I'm having to focus in on the chat and stuff. It's when I'm by myself is when I find other stuff. Like I spent an hour looking to see if I could find where the suspect number 2 guy was, standing in that surveillance shot, the latest one released. Apparently tomorrow they're going to release video of that person. And see, that makes him... See, that's what I was saying. That's why last night we were doing this show, and during the show I think we sort of discovered that guy ran after the other, the main suspect. And then after the show I put out a video late at night, and then a lot of people watched it in the morning, and then it was pretty amazing because like sometime today they actually put out still frames of the very same person that we were saying, man, this guy looks like a suspect or related to the suspect in some way. And I think that is why they removed the video off of Facebook, etc., because I think they were like, whoa, this, they must have seen that same thing behind the scenes, because even today in the press conference, they pretend that they don't realize that, the guy chased the other guy. Come on, Oni. Yeah, Jesus. Again, you're just such a crazy... It's not funny. You're not interesting. It's just, come on. My God. What if they're a couple and they were upset with one another in the process of them committing the shootings? I mean, that's ludicrous. But you know what? It's possible, man. I have to admit it. 1 in a billion for sure. Yeah, of course he didn't just appear in the yard. Who said that? Yeah, look at this. Watch what I have right here, you guys. So here it is. This is the, if you were zooming out, we could put them in the full video if you want. But see, like, this is a wider angle shot. And then you can put him in there. See, I put him in there. Notice I tried pretty hard to make it line up with the tree and the bushes and everything. So there he is, right there. They've obviously, they kind of smoothed out the image. And then this one. So that one's first, and then this one. So he's moving through the yard, and he's still got the bottle in his hand. He's turning. So see, there you go, just like that. And hopefully they release the video. It'll be probably the same shot right here. I don't know what you're talking about, Dante. Nobody knows what you're saying. Because it's terrible investigative work if you want actual help. What does that mean? God, it's just a terrible sentence. It's just... I just finished watching your previous vids on this. Great work. Hey, no problem. No problem. Wait, is the green circle to the left a different image? No, I just took a still frame, you guys. Forget that's the other suspect up there. Because that's part of the surveillance that they released, and I took the... Jesus. Here, let's just do this together, all right? Here, let me show you what I'm doing so that you're all kind of up to... speed on this. I'm going to go to right here. I'm going to take this shot right here. All right. And I think I'll just save this out. But come on, you guys, if you could please help support the channel, that would be great. Thank you. Be nice to have one day where I didn't have to mention the lol busting. All right, let me open up the... just one. Wouldn't that be great? Okay, I think it's this one. All right, okay, there's the full shot. Okay, now if you're wondering, see how there's this brick driveway here? I'm going to fill in everybody who's missed this spot here. Hey, thank you, sweet Lorraine. Great show tonight. I know this is off topic, but are you able to, at some point, to see if Reiner's property has security cameras or how many? Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm not really that interested in Reiner's case. You know, it's not like it's a mystery. We're not trying to figure anything out. It's just, you know, maybe they have cameras. No, but he did it. You know, his mother actually told the daughter that while driving in the ambulance that their son is the one who stabbed them, and then she died on the way to the hospital. So it's just kind of like, it's not a mystery. I like to try to figure something out. Like, this isn't one of those, you know? You know what I'm saying? Let me crop that. All right, so where this is, for people who aren't aware of that, if you've been watching, you're probably aware. It's right here. This is the Rhode Island Historical Society building. There's 3 different camera shots that we have on this one. The first one is from the front of the building, and that's where he's sort of loitering around on this corner over here. And you know he's right here because he's in between the sign and the fire hydrant. And he keeps looking down the street there. Then he must walk down this way because later on he's at that corner, and I think he was loitering on that corner too. But if you come down, I think it was right, we just passed that. It's right here. So look, from this position here, see there's the brick little driveway there, right? And then we look up here, and there is a surveillance camera. And then notice there's another surveillance camera way up there. The camera in the shot that we're about to look at is from this one. All right? That's right here. Now the other surveillance camera, and again it's this one, that's that one. So the one that's further back took this shot. And see, there is the same brick driveway. This is on that building behind it, filming back. So I guarantee you that the new suspect is walking by Well, he does walk by this one, and we know that he walks by the other one because they have that film. And by the way, that other little I don't know, cement walkway is just to the right off the camera here. So he could be actually right there, right before he walks by and follows the other guy. This second person of interest looks like they have hips in one of the screen grabs provided by police, which makes me think he's a woman. Also, she somehow resembles Bridge Guy. Okay. Yeah. Kind of looks like Bridge Guy. Hey, it's Kamari Azad. Yeah, he's got the blue jacket and everything like that. Some people have said it looks like a female, but they seem to think it's a male, probably by the way he walks, etc. All right, do you guys get the surveillance shots now? Yeah, for the new people watching. And then right after that, he goes around the corner, and then we have all the way around the block, and then we have this one, and that other person walking up in the upper part of the screen is not the same person following him, because in this shot, you see the person walking there with two, like Starbucks. Now, if you think he ordered a Starbucks in less than 2 minutes and was walking down on the other side of the street and changed his hair color to brown, then sure. Okay, I guess it's possible. All right, so here is this shot. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in an image here. This is what I do this kind of stuff a lot in different cases and whatnot. And you can see this tree here is this one over there. So let's just make it kind of generally the right size. We'll get a better idea. And then you can see the suspect's foot up there, the normal one. I'm just putting him into the scene because this camera is static. It's not going to be moving. So, I mean, that one's all, pretty close. What I was using, see this little curve right there? And that goes right in there. And you can even see the top of it. So it's kind of like that. And if I turn it on and off, it needs to be moved over a little bit, looks like, or scaled down. Transform, scale, probably like that, and then move that back up to there. Let's see what that one looks like. Yeah, it still needs to be smaller. And what I'll do sometimes is make this one transparent. Like make it so I can see through it, and then I'll zoom in a little bit, like come in here, and then so see right there, there's this rock and this little twig. It's pretty close. It's like right there. And then, see, that's a little off. So I guess we're going to have to go edit, transform, scale, maybe like that. Yeah, see, it's hard to do because they changed the aspect ratio a little bit. So it's one of those things where, I mean, that's close. And then if I go down a little bit there, I mean, that's locked. That looks pretty locked in. Let's go see, look at that. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, you guys. Look at that one. Ding, 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 ding. Come on. All right, so there is that. That's what it would look like on the full shot. So mark my words, when you guys see the video, you'll go, oh shit, we almost already saw that, because that's what it looked like on Gray's channel. So here we go. We're going to go image, adjustment, brightness, contrast. And then watch, I'll try to get it back to its original color. I mean, that's pretty damn good. The tree is still slightly off over there, but, that's it. That's what he looks like. See that? That's almost the original image that you're seeing right there. Can I get a boom? Yeah. Now, isn't that super chat worthy, you guys? You got to admit. Okay, so there's that one. Now let's do the other one. The other image is, let's see. So this one is him there, and the other one is his face to the side. And this one's kind of might be easier to do because there's more in the image here, and then we'll just get rid of the rest. But let's see. That's too small. I can already tell. Guess we're gonna do that same rock. See that rock and that little black line there? So let's make that transparent. Yeah, maybe something. Thank you, Saturn dreaming of Mercury. That's pretty close, right there. Let's see what happens. Here, let me try to, I'm going to use the edit, transform, scale, but then kind of, because they don't give you this stuff correctly. It's kind of frustrating. All right, see that right there. Let me move that over a little bit. Right there, boom, that's pretty good. Like the aspect ratio they screw with. There we go. And then let's see what we got up here, right there. Now that should look pretty good, I would imagine. Oh yeah. And then look at the sidewalk over there. It's pretty close. And let's see, edit, transform, scale. Right there. Wow. I mean, that one, I don't think I could do any better than that. Look at that. Ding, 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 ding. Man, that one's like 100%. Almost, like 90%. And then we go like that. And then let's just get rid of this close-up thing here. We don't really need that. I think I need to, that was a smart object, so I gotta condense that down. Hey, thanks, Joanne Allen. Hope you weren't born in 1854. I'm just kidding. All right, there we go. So I just removed that. That's what it would look like in general. Maybe we can get rid of, I mean, I don't know. I'll just leave that there. I mean, I don't know. Let's get rid of that. Stupid. All right, and then we'll, let's see, image, adjustment, brightness. See if we can get that one exactly the same. About like that, probably. Yeah, probably close to that. And then here we go. We're going to zoom out. Look at that. Look how good that looks. And then, so you have that one and then this one. See? Standing there, and then goes that way. Let me work on that other one a little bit more. This one. Because I think I can fix that. Huh. Okay. Yeah, this one almost looks like they rotated it somehow. It's weird. You know? That one's a lot harder to get to. Let's make it invisible again. Okay, right there. That's good up there. Yeah, I see that. So this was telling me to move it over here. But then that top part, see, that's why it feels like it's rotated. Because how is that even possible? It's close there. See it? And then that's not right either up there. That's the... it's interesting. That one's a hard one to do. But that's close. Right there. Thanks, Richard Watts. So he must walk across this yard through there. I'm going to save this. All right, there we go. I don't understand. Okay, overlay 2, we'll say. Overlay 2. Hey, thank you, Robert Galley. All right, Robert Gal. I'm not sure, man. I can never read some of these things. But thank you, Robert. And then we have Gene Salzman. Boom, 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 effing boom. And then Judy Grandstrand gifted a membership. All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it does kind of look like a theme. I don't know if... I don't know. The way the person's running doesn't look like a female. But doesn't this kind of help out a little bit, just seeing it like that, you know? Let me get rid of some of this on the screen. You know, just looking at it like that, I think should help. Let me move it around a little bit. Right there. See? I think it just kind of gives you a better perspective, you know, just kind of like, okay, there, that's what he looked like. But it's also interesting that he's walking inside of the historical building's property. And what was he doing? Why was he doing that? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell was he doing in there? Can you just walk in there? I mean, it looks like the gates are open, but this doesn't look like you're supposed to be just, I don't know. No, you can't do that. You can only, you know. No, what do you mean by that? The chase video is already a full video of moving around. All right. So, anyways, if you got here late, what I'm going to show you is that this image right here. I literally found out where this was down to the cement block that he's standing on. It took me about an hour. I looked around all the different streets. I realized because there's two different cubes here that it's in the downtown, you know, the actual campus area. And then this little portion right here means there's a slope out to the street. Okay, so if you go back to the, go to street, or not street view, Google Earth here. And go up in the air. Jesus, that thing just took off. 1,000 miles up in the air. Gray, it can't be 1,000 miles, man. That's halfway to the moon. Well, I thought it was 100,000. I don't remember how far it is to the moon. And so, it took me a long time. I went up and down all of these streets here. And then when I got over here, I'm just showing this because a lot of people got here late. And I happened to be going down this street this way, like this. And I looked right over here and I was like, wait. And then I was kind of excited because if you look at that image, see right there, that little curb piece? You know, that's what we have right there, is something that looks like that. And then I was excited because there's those squares. See these squares here? And those are in the shot too, the squares. But it didn't really work out of the placement of the squares. It doesn't work out because there's that and then half of the second one over, it's right there. However, if you turn around, and then I just turned around thinking, oh, maybe they're all over the place, and that's where it is, right here. That square right there is, and there's the little piece of the curb that slants down, right down there. 1, and then 1.5, right in the middle of that one. Then there's an empty one, and then boom again. Also has the orange arrow in it. So if you look at that, there's the orange arrow, etc. And then you go, okay, well, where the hell's the camera then? Well, there is a camera there, but that's not the camera that filmed. It's the camera right there. This one. That camera filmed him walking right there, heading in that direction. Now, he's standing exactly right. So there's this one, and let's just pan it out a little bit. His feet are just right there in that little corner. So that means his feet are right there, literally. So they're probably, if things aren't changed different. Yeah, look at right here. I mean, this is crazy. Watch this. See those two black dots right there? 1, 2, and then a third one that kind of slightly off the line. Here, watch this. Well, by God, it's right there. 1, 2, 1 slightly back. His feet are right there. See what I'm telling you guys? I can get this down to inches, for God's sakes. All right. All right, there we go. So that's now we know that that's where he was. All right. And it's interesting because it's outside of sort of the range, the area that we've been following. He's right over here, okay? And so this is where we saw them walking. As a matter of fact, the chasing happened right here. And I imagine that shot is after that. So he must have walked all the way up here, interestingly, right in front of the Barris and Hawley building, and then he must have turned left up. God, it may even went further up. He went another block up and then turned left, and then was spotted right there. You get what I'm saying? All right. Hey, and welcome, everybody. If you could hit that like button, that would be awesome. How many likes do we got here? Is it reasonable? Only 333. Forget it, man. Here we go. Hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button. It's so damn easy. It's so simple. Just hit the like button. Hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. All right, thank you. I don't like it when you do that, Gray. I'm never watching again. All right, see ya. Yeah, I mean, when I have surveillance and mapping, but the thing is every case that we cover, I logically work through it and figure out what's going on. People just like, it's more fun to watch sensationalism and conspiracy theories. So I suffer when there's no surveillance or any sort of visual information to go by. All right. So who's out there? We need another challenge going. Hey, thank you, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. And by the way, my channel, so if you're new here, you haven't watched before, I actively try to raise super chats and bring in funds every single night to help support my channel, but also at the same time, at the end of each month, we donate thousands of dollars out of the income. That means ad revenue and super chats, gifted memberships, all that stuff. We donate thousands of dollars. We're at $42,000 this year so far, and we've donated $272,000 since January of 2020. Can I get a boom? One of these days, if I keep doing this for another 7 or 8 years, maybe we'll get to 1 million at some point. Who the hell knows? All right. I doubt it, but maybe 500,000 would be cool. Yet next year we should get to 300. All right, so I need your guys' support. So if you guys are out there, let's try to somebody do a challenge or do something, man. We can do it. All right. I mean, if you found another channel that's even close to that, let me know. Well, Gray, it's not your money. It's other people supporting your channel. Well, they're supporting my channel, right? I'm just taking part of the income and giving it away. It's not, I mean, I could have paid off my house with that. I still owe a mortgage and everything. All right, so there is the, I mean, that's where the second suspect, he's walking away this way. Sort of interesting. I mean, maybe he is a student. I just can't reconcile while he was running away. Why was he running away from it? What do we got here? Oh, Chris O'Connell again. You're always so nice. Chris O'Connell has done a challenge, you guys. She'll donate 5 memberships if you guys, 5 of you, just do 1. So it's 2 for 1. That would be amazing. Plus, we get more freaks in here if you guys want to stay around after, next month, etc., etc. Wow, Marty said he'll match Chris. So that means 3 for 1, you guys. So if you guys do 5, 10 will come back in. That's pretty amazing. Thanks, Marty. Wow, that was really nice of you. What did your message say, Birdbrain? What did it say? Well, there we go. We've got Stephen Connerly. We've got Stephen Connery. And Glenn Bush. Thank you, Glenn Bush, for gifting a membership. I like the gifted memberships a lot. It's kind of cool because maybe somebody, it's only $1.99 to come back the next month. It's like, $1.99 a month. Shit, that's a Snickers bar, man. If we had, we need like 3,000 of those to try to make it work. But it's, it'd be kind of nice. Thank you, Sweet Lorraine. Do animation of walking like you did. Well, you know what? Here's what I can do. I have a 3D program that I can actually get this model here. So we might be able to do something a little bit more like that. Sure. Yeah, let me, you know what? The fact that it's not a huge area might allow me to get a little clearer, I guess. So I'll try it. I'll give it a whirl, as it were. Wow, did we get the... Oh, wow, you guys did it. Steven, Glenn, Betty, Sarah with an H dishes. HD ishes. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say on that one. And then we had Gene Salzman and then Chris O'Connell gifted 5. And then Marty's Bar and Grill gifted 5. And then look at that. Sweet Lorraine out of nowhere gifted 5 as well. Thank you, guys. Very cool. Hey, do you guys want to listen to the press conference? I fixed it, and we can all get frustrated together. We do have some other stuff to... Well, maybe we go to that first. Fox News put this out there.
Scheduled for 5.
So I thought this was interesting.
5 p.m. today, obviously for the last 4 days. But this is the north entrance, and this is the loading dock entrance of that building. And the reason why this...
I mean, this is just similar. It feels so similar to, like Tyler Robinson, sort of his technique.
Side is important is because based on what we now know from the FBI timeline and locations, we believe that the gunman came out through that door. And you can see the yellow police tape back here. You see the Providence police truck. We've noticed a lot of FBI forensic folks back here taking photos as well. And basically, after the about 4 o'clock shooting, the shooter, we believe, comes through this way. This is a parking lot in the back of the building. And you can see this is the engineering and
That's why they were over there.
Physics building that.
Looking at, remember they were digging through this huge dumpster? Now, we've got this on Google Earth over here. Let's zoom in over here. And if you notice, that dumpster is not there whenever this map was created, but these 2 dumpsters are there. This one, and that guy's standing right there. There was a dumpster, let's see, right there when he's standing there. And apparently he came out right over there. I mean, that's nuts. Let's put that over there. So... let's grab that one and have that go over there. And so there we go. We have that. And then apparently, let me do another one. Can I click on? Yeah, there we go. Let me add another one right there. Take that. I think he went over to this dumpster and he went out. So let's go. Let's listen to that. Let me save everything that we've done here. There we go. Doesn't that feel good when you hit the save button?
Where the shooting took place. So the shooter walks into this building and then finds his way out through this kind of back exit. And we saw FBI agents spending a lot of time in this dumpster here.
See? They spent a lot of time in that dumpster. That's where See, that's right here. That's these two dumpsters. See the brown one and the blue one? Brown one and the blue one. So they're not moving those, but apparently they spent time in that dumpster, but they were also looking through that other one.
Don't know why, but presumably because this is the path that the gunman took. Maybe they threw something in there. So they spent a lot of time literally inside of that dumpster.
Okay, we got 703 watching and only 422 likes. Come on, everybody, hit that like button. Hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 25, 30, 35, 40. Hit that like button. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button. All right.
Then we know, based on the new surveillance video that was taken out, that there's a primary person of interest that everyone's been talking about. And there's a surveillance video now that's out from 4:03 p.m., just after the shooting. And it shows that the person of interest was crossing the street over here in Hope Street. Now, we know from that video, because you can see faintly, you can see
goes to the right.
What appears to be the primary person of interest run across Hope Street. And we believe that he got to Hope Street by coming through here, through the back.
Wow, so you guys actually, do you believe that? Well, we do see him going across, and then he goes around that corner. So that's interesting. Let's change that. I mean, I feel like if you're on the ground over there, you can, especially Fox News are going to get somebody to tell them something. So let's see. He goes to the dumpster and then maybe go like that-ish, something. I think that's what he's pointing at. No, he's going in between that building. Never mind, hold on. He's going like this. And then I think across. That's how they have it. All right. Isn't that amazing? So that means he found like a weird way out even.
Once he got to Hope Street, he then makes a left and then a quick right at Waterman, and then he's last seen at 4:06.
Thanks, Coyote Mom.
p.m. That's basically what we can put together based on what we know so far. Now, the interesting thing back here is that there are not a lot of cameras. Cameras have been a big part of the investigation, or I should say the lack thereof. If Dave, my photographer here, can just show you guys, look around. I mean, we don't see cameras back here. This is a parking lot, the back of the building, as I said, and if the shooter or primary person of interest came through here, they did not get a good shot of that person. And we know that because the Attorney General says that they have released the best of what they have so far. And so that has been a big sticking point here. And again, I want to point to the building over here. We know that this shooting happened at 4 o'clock. And we know that there's also issues with surveillance inside of that building. And because it's an older building that is attached to a newer building. And actually, Dave, I don't know if you can see, but there's the older building on the left, and then there's the newer building that's the attachment on the right. And the AG and the Attorney General and everybody says that the older building on the left where the shooting took place doesn't have the kind of cameras that they had hoped for. Residential neighborhood. You see, this building is on the edge of campus. It's not in the main campus. And the main campus has 1,200 cameras, we're told, by the university. So we have surveillance video showing the shooter,
here's the edge of the
the primary person of interest, I should say, at 2:53 p.m. walking down Hope Street here in front of the engineering building. We have a ton of video, probably 14 other videos that they've released showing this person in the residential neighborhood.
I guarantee you, we're the first people out there that know where that surveillance shot was taken, other than law enforcement, of the second subject, the latest one that they released. Nobody else would have taken the time, an hour or so, to go figure out where the brick was. The sidewalk. You got to admit, there's no way that they would figure that out. unless they were told.
Here in various different points. He's 5'8", stocky build, wearing the mask, the two-tone color jacket. And now we've got those new images of a second person that they want to speak to, somebody that investigators want to speak to because of their proximity, quote unquote, to that first primary person of interest. It looks, based on those photos, that this is somebody.
See how they word it, you guys? These people have no clue what they're doing. They just go, hey, the proximity. You know, he's just proximity. That's not why police are interested in this guy. It's not because they keep saying it over and over and over again. Have you guys noticed this? They keep saying, well, they're looking at him because they said that at the press conference. Oh, they're looking at him because of the proximity. That's not what made law enforcement interested at all. Okay, they were interested because they saw him running after the first guy. Okay, and they both run. So one of them runs and the other one runs. But it turns out now we know that when the first guy ran, he slowed down and then maybe took off again, and the other guy ran and maybe caught up with him. He was only 8 seconds ahead of him. Maybe 10, not 20 like it looked before. Hey, thanks, Carrie and KMTX. Hey, no problem. Thinks the guy walks weird. People don't walk like that. Either the FBI edited. Who walks weird? Well, oh, that you're saying that somebody else thinks the guy walks weird. People don't walk like that. Either the FBI. And no, people do walk like that. In fact, I bet you walk like that, soundboard. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Come on, give me a break. Yeah, thanks again, Carrie and KMTX.
Who they think walked very close or was by this individual, and they want to know more about what they know and why, perhaps, if they know this person that they're really looking for, the primary person of interest. So I told you, just to give you a sense of where we're at, we'll kind of peel back.
Yeah, they haven't. So let me just go over this mapping again. So we've had this pretty much. I forgot to fill in this part right here, but we've had this on the mapping, and then let's see. Today they released this map, so our map is almost identical, except they need to have it where he's running from over here, not just there. But the red is when he's leaving. And see this right over here? They have that little red strip, and that's right over here. And so they must have surveillance, obviously, of that. And I guess what we could do is go down to Street View and just kind of look. I'm sure, multiple, I don't know which house has a camera on it. Maybe one of those. This is Street. Now, this is going to be tough because this is Street View from, well, that was 2014. This is 2022. Most people didn't have Ring cameras or anything in 2014. And 2022, this is June 2025. So this one might have something. But whatever it is, a camera was able to pick him up walking this right along this red line that's on the ground here. And maybe one of these cameras, one of these buildings here has a camera on it, facing maybe right down here, and then you can pick him up walking. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this building has a camera on it now. That's 2014. Is there any, let's see, is there any chance that we could, what was this? Yeah, let's try the old Google Maps routine. So we're right there, and that's that weird house. And so we'll go to Google Maps, and there it is right there. And let's go to Street View. And this is from September of 2025, so that's newer than what, I don't know if that's a camera right there, but that's definitely interesting. So this is from September of this year. I mean, this is like, 3 months ago. That looks more like lights right there. This is also from September. I'm just gonna go a little, just check a little bit more and see what's going on. Ah, there's a camera right there. Is there another one on the other side? That looks definitely like a camera. And so maybe that's what they used and could tell he came from that direction. But anyways, there you go. There you have. Hey, thanks, Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden. Look at, we actually have Linda Molden Howe in here, you guys. She's the cattle mutilations and crop circle expert. You'll even see it. She'll usually throw in all the emojis of her aliens. It's pretty funny.
The engineering and physics building to your left. Okay, and then we think that the gunman or primary person of interest that they're looking
Betty
for
and Lisa
came through
V.
back over here, and then crossed. There's a surveillance video out there that shows the primary person of.
Thank you, Timothy Cecil. See, look at Linda House. She just did the alien and cattle. She is. It's a joke, you guys. There's a person that used to be on Art Bell called Linda Molden Howe. So we have a Linda Howell. So we've always made fun of that for like 7 years.
Of interest crossing here,
Right.
going across Hope Street,
And turn left.
and then turning the corner over there on Waterman and
around
Hope
it.
and escaping. And again, this is the very edge of
Right.
campus. Okay, so all of that over there is residential. There's businesses. That first surveillance video that everybody saw in the very beginning of all of this was actually captured by that camera on the top left of that.
As I pointed out a long time ago. I mean, how long ago did I point out that camera was the one that filmed it? I mean, like first day, you know. I said, I mean, I even have the, you know, that's where the camera was right here. You just go down to Street View, you pan up here, and there it is. That camera right there filmed him coming around this corner and going that direction. You know, you ever notice that some of us YouTubers were like days ahead of... Now watch, in a few days, or maybe even tomorrow, you'll see Fox News or Megyn Kelly going, now look, the guy follows him and runs even. You know, it's like, well, how come you're not saying that today? It was such a big deal. I don't understand. You know, like for me, the fact that the second suspect, ran after the first one is huge. That makes the connection something different than just, oh, he was walking by. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thank you, Body Blow Biscuit. I remember your name from a long time ago. Can we see the street view side of the bush where PO1 was before? Yeah, we've shown that a bunch of times already. Where PO1 was before PO2 started running. Oh, I see, around the corner there. Yeah. Hey, and then also thank you to something like ILL Inc. or LL Inc. CC something or other. Thank you. Said, excellent work, Gray. Your other videos on this were top notch. Thank you. Hey, no problem. Really appreciate it. All right, yeah, let's go do that. Let's go do what you just said. I think that's a good idea. I had thought of doing that when I was just sitting around, but then I forgot. So now you've reminded me to go look. So you're saying when it goes around, there's that little movement. So, I mean, just to do the whole thing, let's just go over here. The entire area where that took place was right here. Now those new images are right here on this sidewalk, and he cuts across that grass. Of course, this is a different time of year. This is June, so it's thicker there. And then we see on this camera back here, this one right there, filmed the suspect at this corner, standing here, looking back this way, and sees the guy coming. And then he goes around the corner, and he runs this direction. And that camera is just right through there somewhere. You might even be able to see it here in a second. That's too dense. But, you know, right around this time, the camera stopped recording. It might even be a little bit before that. I would say like right here, it stopped recording, and then there's 8 seconds of a still frame that they filled in. And then he kind of goes like over to right here. He's just, I think it's just he's standing right on a sidewalk, and he's right there. And then he starts moving again, and then the person comes around the corner and then looks down the street and sees the guy, and he runs after him down there. See that? It's wild. And let's just show it again. Let's do that whole part again, because it's actually the, like, I think a huge part of, you know, it seemingly is a huge part of the case. I mean, I guess there could be some rational explanation for it that's not nefarious, but it's hard to see. So look right up at the top. See that? See, let me zoom in as far as I can go without losing both of them. All right, so I'm going to go back and forth. See, the guy on the right is the new image, suspect 2. That guy in the upper right there. And so right before that, was he in that other little sidewalk area? Who knows, right? Or was he waiting for that guy to get something? You know, it's so strange. Because he could have easily been walking right here on this little sidewalk. You know, because of the way he was going. I don't mean to pause again, but let's go back up here. Let's go down to Street View. Look at this. See, he went right back here, but he cuts across the grass. And so I guess he would then just show up on the bricks over here. So if we go back to Google, or I mean my program here. So he would just kind of come across like that, and who knows what he did. But he was there. It was before that. Hey, thank you, Chris O'Keitel. All right, thanks. Yeah. Anyway, so let's just look at that again. See, this is just huge. So this guy is moving, and look at the timing. Right when he's right there, the suspect in the upper left, or the one encircled in blue, runs, right? And we're just going to do this again, and then watch when he runs. Sometimes the mouse gets like connected to this stupid, God, you gotta be kidding. All right, there we go. So he's right up there. Now watch when he runs. You can see him sprinting. See that? Ding, 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 ding. Up, and then it stops. And the reason it stops there is because the camera is motion activated likely, and it just stopped recording. And see, you can see him. Now look at right there. See how you can still see his legs right there. I'm going to go back a little bit. See that? And then watch how the next frame is absolutely, there's nothing there now. Watch. Boom. That's because it stopped recording. So what law enforcement did was the next time the camera moved, they took the next frame and just filled it in for those 8 seconds until there's actual motion again. And we know that because, see, there's that car sticking out right there. See that? So we'll get back to that in a second. However, look right there. So see right when this, I'm going to go back a frame. I want you to look right down here, just there. Look. So I'm going to go forward and see that. Now you might go, oh, that's nothing. It is. I've been doing this a long time. It is something, and I'll show you. Watch it. Just keep watching there. Right now is 8 seconds of a still frame. And one of the still frames actually had that. That one that they used had that in it. Now it's still moving forward. And there it goes. See that? It actually leaves the area. And you guys see that, right? It's not like it just disappears. It's a smooth transition and exits. So that means what we're seeing is, let's go back up to where that car is. So remember how I told you the car is just still, that's part of a car? It's actually a moving car, and they use the still frame. So let's go here. There it is. It's finally moving. So there you go. Right there, the still frame, right in that frame, the still frame is now not still anymore. They're putting the video back in. So there you go. Moved one, and that's right down here. So as the video is playing, I'm going forward, and then that moves off the screen. So what that is that is the suspect who, after running, 8 seconds later was only right there, like he waited there. And then, if you look up here, the suspect comes around. Look, there's that car. I mean, isn't that crazy? So for those 8 seconds, the guy was almost around the corner anyways. At the time that so from it's almost exactly at this point you start counting. Let's see. So there was 8 seconds of missing time, and then after that 8 seconds is up, he'd made it to the corner. And yet the killer, the suspect, is still right there. He stood there and waited. And he was looking down the street over here. Let me get back so I can get into the right position here. All right, right there. And then look, he comes around the corner. Here he comes. And that guy was moving away right around that time. So right as, it was a little bit before he came around the corner, but he obviously stopped and he could see him down there. And then this guy, when he could see that the suspect had already started running, I believe. And then look at right here, he starts running. Watch. I mean, he goes chasing after the guy. I mean, that's really obvious. Yeah, we got 514 likes with 1,444 watching. So let's go ahead and hit that like button, you guys. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Hit that like button 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button 40. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. Hit that like button. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button. Thank you very much. All right. I don't like it when you do that, Gray. I'm not going to hit the like button when you play it. Okay, well, don't do it then, all right? We're just trying to get the likes up in here. Thank you. All right, so then after he runs, so I'm just going over this for you guys because I think a lot of people haven't seen what the clarity of motion is here. So after both of them, it's right here on this corner where he runs around like this. And no, it's actually right over here. So like this is where he was standing originally, like looking for something. And then he runs around this corner. And then that other suspect number 2 chases him around. And then suspect number 1 comes around. And he's not following him anymore. So to me, that's weird, right? Like the other guy's following him, running after him. Unless, like, how did he not keep following him? It must have been like, hey, I'm right here. Come on, hurry up. And then the guy ran over there. And then he gave him something. And then he just wandered off. That's what it feels like. And then there's the next surveillance that you're seeing right here is right there. See that? See the little pillars here, the lion, the hedges and all that crap? Well, that's this building right here. If we go down to the street view, there's the lions, the hedges, etc. The camera. I think I've seen the camera. It's I don't know if it's right. Let's see. Where is that shot coming from? Hold on. Yeah, so it's underneath, like up in there. Let's see. If I go that way. Yeah, apparently there's a camera. I'm not sure what... this is June. So there's some sort of a camera up in here somewhere. Thought I'd seen it before, but for some reason I can't see it. But you can see the footage coming from right above this little lamp right there, right? So we go back to the street view. There's the lamp. So that camera's coming. That might be a newer camera, unless there's a... If we go back, maybe that one beam's blocked. Oh, and there it is. That beam was blocking it. Because there's the camera right there. See that dark spot? So that's the camera filming him walking. And here we go. And there he is walking by that camera. This is just after being chased. Now watch how weird this gets here in a second. Watch this. So this is just after him being chased. And he's walking, and then he walks by the camera. Now, up in the upper portion of the video, you see these feet, and people have said, hey, that's the guy. But he's got white shoes on, first of all, that person. Second of all, we got another shot coming here. This is the right after that. Like literally, see this little driveway right there? Here, watch this. That driveway is, I think there's, hold on, let me hit the escape button again. I think that's right here. And so this guy, there's actually an overlap of the video, I think. I'm almost positive because, I mean, I know exactly where this is, so it's accurate. I just don't know if that's the same. Let me see if there's another driveway on Street View. And so that has to be, yeah. So it's right there. He's walking by right there. And that's in the next footage. So if you go to here and then move to the next clip, he's walking. There is that little driveway that goes down. And then here's the guy walking over there with brown hair and holding 2 coffee cups. Now, I don't know about you, but Starbucks can't make a coffee in a minute 30. All right. So that's not the same guy. You know, this is him here. This is currently the best footage they have of this guy. Sadly, the camera was positioned poorly. And then he goes around the corner. Now watch that. Look how weird this is. So he goes around the corner. He goes around this corner. Let's go back to, yes, right here. Okay, before we do that, though, I'll show you again. A lot of the freaks have seen this, but if you look up here, see that? That's the camera. That camera and that camera are the ones that just filmed that last part where he's kind of off to the edge, walking like that. That's the camera. So then he goes around this corner here. And then he's making his way down here, but he's running. And let's see where that next one picks it up. So the next shot, after going around that corner, you literally see him turning there. And now we're back to this one again. So let's go up to the, up here again, up in the air. And that shot is right here. So there's a camera on this building. That's the same one that shows him loitering, kind of looking and waiting. So that means when he's in this area, he's running. But look, he came around this corner. Was he running the whole time? Because look at that. Don't you find that just really strange? Like he was running from the guy. Then on this street he walks normally. And now he's running again. And then he goes around this corner over here and he goes pretty quick around that corner. He's doing the same damn lap again. Did the guy leave him something? You know, that's what makes me wonder. Maybe the guy left him something intentionally. And then he's going around to go get it this time. You know, something like that, where now he's by himself. It doesn't look suspicious. Although he's running. Man, if you can explain that, it's crazy. I know, he's doing these loops around. So he literally just went and did an entire loop. And he ran for a lot of it. Yeah, so he walks down here. This is Hope Street. Goes around that corner. There's a camera on this building and that one, filming him turning. Then he's running when he's up here, and then he goes back around again. So that means law enforcement has multiple videos of this guy going by this camera over here. We've already got 2, as a matter of fact. But he goes by this camera again, obviously. Now, on the last one, did he go in there somehow and grab something? I mean, how weird would that be? Because we know that the guy went in there. If you go back to my overlay over here, there he is. See that? And this is him. There's the little brick sidewalk. We've got him in there. And then boom, he's literally walking through there. So is there something in this satchel that maybe he hid in there? Wouldn't it be interesting if, I don't know, just he put something down and maybe he put it by that fence area and then the guy grabbed it, and then I don't know why you'd be chasing after him though. I don't understand why there's running and stuff like that. Do you? You can't find the clip. I made it. I made the clip. You missed the beginning of the show. Here, look. So what I did was I took their still frames, and I know what surveillance footage it was. So look how it's pretty close, but look how it's a little wobbly, you see. But it's right where he was. All right, he's right there. And then I also did it with this clip too. See, watch this one. That one's better. Look how clear, good, really put in the right spot. And then when you put them on top of each other, you just go like that. Now, they have this video. This is an actual video that they've got. And I think tomorrow they're going to release those videos. Okay, so make sure to check out the channel. As soon as I get those suckers, I'll be putting them out. All right. No, they've got 2. I'm not sure where you're coming up with 3. This is the same person that's running after him. Same guy. He didn't have a beard like we thought, though. What was your... oh, did it disappear? Oh, sorry about that. Hey, thank you so much there. What is it? I'm essential. You are essential. Thank you for the gifted memberships. And then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury said, if we hypothesize that 2 was involved, 2 could have shouted something like cop to 1. Could vehicle been law enforcement? What do you mean? So that's why he booked it while 2 delayed. Maybe. I mean, maybe there's a cop car or something. Yeah, maybe something like that. I mean, what kind of vehicle was that went by? I didn't see. Didn't even think about that. Yeah, it looks like it's like an SU, like a truck with a camper in the back. I don't know. I mean, that would be the one he was looking at, right? Have the before and... Yeah, I think what I might do is make an animation of, like, how he's moving around. Would that be interesting? Just like even if it's a sphere. Just kind of moving around of what we got. There's a lot of missing time, though. There's literally, like... Oh, sorry. Sorry, you guys couldn't see that. All right, let's do that again. Right, so it's right there. See, that's the pickup truck with the camper on the back. See? That maybe if I did like have a sphere moving around, and then I even have the other guy. Of course, we've only got we need more surveillance of him to time it up with time frames. Because here's what I think. I think that guy was waiting for him even in, like this shot right here. Let's just watch this whole video. This is before. All right, so look at this is later. This is at 2:16, right? This is at 2:08, just 8 minutes before. Now watch what he's doing here. I mean, he's right before that he looked down that street. He's still looking and waiting. He's like waiting for somebody. And now he's right at the corner and he looked down that street. So he's literally looking down there. And that's exactly where that guy was. I mean, that's the crazy part. So what he's doing right now, if we go back to the map up in the air, that guy was standing right here on this corner, right there, looking down that street. And that's exactly where suspect 2 went up that little driveway in there and then later follows him around to the corner there. Now, I don't know what happened in those 8 minutes. So there's this time frame where we do see him here. So let's see what's going on. He walks by right there. And let me figure out what that one was. That one is at 2:13, so it's right in between 2:08 and 2:16. So let's see, where was he at 2:13? Oh wow, he's over there, huh? Oh, that's crazy. So here's what he did. I forgot about that. So he's right here at 2:08, and he's looking around down that street, right? And then he walked this way. I mean, how nuts is that, right? He walked this way and then came around this corner, and he spotted at this camera again, he was there at 204 and then 213 going this way. And then he must have gone and made it to this intersection here. Then he looks down and sees that guy coming, and that's when he ran this way and then made his way around the block and then ran again over here. Somehow there's something that makes sense in there. We just got to figure it out. Thank you, Chris O'Connell. Stole the gun from, I don't know. I don't think anybody stole anything. That'd be weird, you know. I mean, if that is the case, that's crazy. I still don't, I can't really make sense of like why they're running, you know. Why did the one run? Was it like, hurry up and get over here? And then why did he run again later? It's almost like he left something there intentionally. Like, hey, I left it over there. And then he ran around the block so somebody else didn't get there first. Right? I mean, so let's just, here's the theory. Watch. In this video, this is, let's pretend that this is, he's actually there. I mean, because now we know he came from a different angle. So let's just look at it like this. He's right here, and he leaves something over here. Then he goes back out. Let's go the other direction. Then he walks back out on the street here at some point, and then at around that same time, that's when this guy comes over here. Then he sees the guy, the suspect number 2. He comes out right here and then starts walking that direction. That's why you can't see it on, let's see, this surveillance right here, because it only shows the red brick area. God, this is crazy. My mouse keeps getting stuck to the, like right now, I don't even have a click on, and it's, come on, get off of there. Jesus. All right, there we go. And then he starts walking this way as the other guy comes over here, and then he sees him there, and he's like, oh, shit. So he starts running around, and this guy runs around and goes, hey, and maybe they met up for just a moment. He goes, I left it over by the blah, 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 blah. And then, I mean, is this making sense to you guys? So that other guy, the suspect 1, literally comes in from way down there, as we just saw, not around this corner. So suspect 2, maybe he's already in there doing something and then comes out, and that's why the other camera picks him up walking this direction, and maybe this guy walked past him while he was there. Right? Suspect 1 walked past him, and then he makes his way to here, and then he's waiting for him to come back out. He sees him come out, and then he runs over there, down the street, and then he sort of waits for a moment over here again, kind of waiting for him to come around the corner, right? Because he didn't just keep running. And then he sees him come around the corner, then he goes off again, and the other guy runs down to catch up to him and says, yeah, I left it behind the planter. And then suspect 1 then runs, goes down here, and he goes his own way, and suspect 2 goes on his merry way, because now it's been delivered, sort of hidden in a way, and then he comes around the corner and then he runs around to get back to where that was. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's other footage, and if he doesn't go in there on footage, then that theory is bullshit, but it kind of explains why he'd be running, because he's nervous that somebody else might get it. Hey, thank you, Marty's Bar and Grill. But I still think they are male and female. Okay, well, you can think what you want, but law enforcement says it's a male, so it does look like a female in the one image here. Like, I think, in some ways that looks like a female, but I think it looks like a female. You know why? I mean, other than that, he looked like Urkel, but I think it sort of looks like a Muslim woman. If you were going to say that, right, with the head covering and then this little thing in there, it just has that look to it, right? But we don't know. law enforcement says it's a guy. It's probably, this person looks like they're taller than 5'8". They look taller than the other one. Grant Hughes, it's 4:26 in the morning here in Wales, so I'm failing to follow what's going on here. That's too bad. You're gonna have to watch it tomorrow. All right, did that make sense what I'm saying? Let's try to do it just from the air this time. Okay, I'm gonna do this little theory one more time right here. Suspect number 1 is standing right here and he's waiting and watching. He looks down there, and I think he sees his buddy go over there. Then he continues around this direction because he doesn't want to be right next to him. And he comes around like this and then makes his way to right there. And then he looks down there as the guy is coming out walking this direction. Then he runs over here and waits for him, actually. Then he sees him coming, and then he starts jogging this way, and this guy runs to catch up to him, to either hand him something or let him know where he put something. Then suspect 1 comes around the corner. Suspect 2 walks up, and that's why he's seen way up here on camera later, right there. He just walks away. Suspect 1 comes running around, and he walks this way because he doesn't want to draw attention to himself. But as soon as he gets to the side street, he starts running again because he wants to hurry up and get to where something was left for him. So he comes around, he runs around this corner, and he's walking really fast, and maybe he picks something up over here and then continues on. Maybe that's where he starts, has the satchel out or something. Maybe he picked up a satchel that was left and the other guy had it in his white backpack. How's that? I'm just saying that's what it sort of looks like, right? It looks like a headscarf, etc. That's just what it looks like. I don't know if that's what it is. Could be somebody wearing a stocking cap underneath a hood, and it just has that look. But that's a theory that sort of makes the running kind of make a little bit of sense, right? Just a little bit. The running, but the key is the running part is a huge element of the case that for some reason the media and even in this press conference didn't seem to give a damn about. So let's go ahead and play that right now. All right, you guys want to listen to this? I have the audio boosted up. They start asking questions like 10 minutes in all the way through, and I boosted up all of the audio. And then he sort of stopped for a moment in that bushy area, and then when he saw him coming around the corner, Josh, he took off again, and then they met sort of down the street somewhere. All right, here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our daily briefing. I want to start by just acknowledging how the residents of Providence and the students and campus community at Brown are still feeling restless and eager for an arrest. And we understand and share that feeling. We are also eager for an arrest. The investigation is well underway, and we'll hear an update in just a second from Colonel Perez and Attorney General Nerona. But I want to reemphasize that in the Providence community and with the governor's help, really in the broader Providence community, we have tightened security and we have neighbors looking out for one another, and we will get through this. I know our city, and we are a resilient community, and we are a city that will support one another as we move forward in this scary time. Just because you're feeling unsafe doesn't mean that that's invalid. We know that that's real, but we are doing everything we can to both advance this investigation, but also to provide the support necessary as we move forward and take the first steps together that we need to, as a city, to start to recognize that kids need to go to school and people need to go to work, and we appreciate the courage and sometimes even tentative steps forward that we're taking as we start to move forward as a community. At this time, I'd like to introduce Colonel Oscar Perez, who will give an update on the investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. We can please show the photo that we released earlier today. So we have released this enhanced photo earlier today, and I want to be clear that this is a person that we would like to speak with. We truly believe, based on the video footage that we have been watching for a few days, they may have relevant information to the investigation. So we're asking the public that you can help us identify who this individual is, as well as the individual themselves sees their picture, to please contact the police department. As far as one thing that I want to mention, I want to urge you, the public, not to rely on or circulate AI generated images that are currently being shared on social media, as they're not verified or credible. As well, the updates and information that you're getting will be provided exclusively through this department's official channels. I want to make sure that we make that happen, and please notify the public to.
Yeah, by the way, those are some of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Those little AI, they take the picture of the suspect and they generate this face. It's so irresponsible and stupid to do that. It's embarrassing, all right? But anyways, hey, guys, if you're out there, if you want to help support the channel, that would be awesome. Maybe get some more channel memberships. I'll tell you what, if you guys do 15 more channel memberships altogether, I'll donate 5 myself. And then, you know, I know it's not the same deal that the other ones made, but, you know, let's go.
Make sure that that occurs. I would also like to clarify and show a map. Please, if you can play the map.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing from 10, I think it was 10:30. I don't know what he was doing. I just cut this part out. We've already seen the map and everything.
So the map here that you see is actually a map of the area that we have been intensively walking on those streets, canvassing the area. So as you see the blue image, yesterday I mentioned that we need the public's assistance to check their camera assistance or any sort of video that you may have that could be helpful to us, that you, as you're watching it or as you're reviewing it, you feel there may be something that we can use. Please notify us. And if you need any help with that, viewing those videos,
hey, put a 1 if you agree with me that it's stupid that they have this little bordered area. Hey, if you got any, if you live in this area, send us some surveillance. How about if you live anywhere around anywhere over here, like all the way over to here? I mean, maybe you could cut off the highway, but I would say like this whole town. Just if you see this person, give us a call. I don't know why they're limiting the information. Have everybody check their camera. Everybody would want to check their cameras, right? Thank you, Chris O'Cuddle. Hey, there's 5 of the 15, so we need 10 more of those suckers. All right, let's see. Back to this.
please also call us. We can come over and help you. The green area, that's color, that's when we have confirmed where the subject was prior to the shooting. The red areas, we have also confirmed that that's the immediate area where he left after the shooting. And so this is the map that actually we have so far. We walked it all. We still active.
Yeah, so that part's new. That's a new piece of information that they have him leaving after. Remember how he goes around the corner? This isn't really that accurate. He came from over here and then went around. But then he's over here. And that's a new thing. That's why they mentioned that Ive Street the other day, because he's right there. Thank you, Betty Black. All right. Hey, thanks, Marty's Bar and Grill. Now we're in rhyme.
Actively investigating, and we're still actively having agents, Providence police officers, members of the state police. There's about 9 federal agencies that are assisting us with this investigation, adding the state police as well as the Providence police and other municipalities. Again, I would like to reiterate, if you have any tips, please call the 272-3121 or the FBI link at fbi.gov/Brown University shooting. Thank you.
My theory got kind of squished. My theory before was this. That he came here, went up here, got into a car, and then drove on Angel Street, came around here on Angel Street, and then went over a bridge. I kind of eliminated this area all down here because why would he go up there? Turns out it looks like he was trying to deceive law enforcement. So I think he did maybe he did park down here somewhere, because why else would he go this way and then back down like this? So he likely came up here, turned right, went down here, or he went here, went like that. But he's over here heading in this direction. I found that interesting. So that means, you know, I had this whole thing blocked off. Like I went like this. He probably did, this isn't where he left. Because why would you go up like this? And now I've got to eliminate my little map here because he came back this way. So he was doing like a head fake misdirection thing by going up like that. Now he's making his way back to likely a vehicle, or hell, maybe he lives down there. Don't know.
Attorney General Peter Nerona for an update. Okay. Thank you, General. One additional update from me, and then we'll be happy to take your questions. First, I want to just take a moment to recognize...
I do want to say something. Thanks, Stacy Galloway. If you're listening somewhere out there, she sent me a Christmas basket. It was like a whole bunch of roses and had a Christmas ornament in there that lit up, and then 6 massive chocolate chip cookies. 2 of them have already bit the dust. But anyways, thank you, Stacy Galloway. She's a moderator. She just hasn't had the time to be here.
And honor the memory of Ella Cook and Muhammad Aziz Umerzakov, who are the 2 deceased victims from this tragedy, and update you on the status of the survivors. Yesterday we mentioned that 1 individual had been discharged. I'm happy to report that another individual has been discharged today. That leaves 1 survivor in critical but stable condition and 5 in stable conditions. The parents that I spoke with today all reported that their kids were improving. So this is a happy announcement. But I know the entire Providence community, the entire state of Rhode Island, the governor and I were together at a memorial service last night, mourn the loss and offer our most sincere condolences to the Cook and Umerzakov families. Following up on...
You know, it's something that's probably absolutely unrelated, but I mean, I don't know if Cook has family there, but it's. I thought it was weird that one of the main streets this guy walks around on is Cook Street, Cooke, and that's exactly how she spells her name. Now, one of the victims, you know, does her family have roots here where, you know, I don't know. I mean, it just seems so... Another one of those coincidences. I mean, what are the odds of that? I mean, how many times do you see a Cook Street, Cooke, and then it just so happens that's one of the victims' last names. And that's where the main, like he's walking this whole time, like this whole area is Cook Street right here that we were just talking about. All right, let's see. Let me go back to this.
A note that the colonel made with respect to AI-generated
there's no relation.
images
It just seemed
and
odd.
other misinformation. We have created an online folder with all of the video and images that have been released. And we encourage both members of the press, but also members of the community. We know lots of people are sharing information, and we appreciate that. We think that will help with this investigation. But we encourage them to download and share the videos and photos from the website that has...
Yeah, I wanted to cover the Bondi Beach thing, but you can't really play any of that video. YouTube just won't let you do it. This is different, just surveillance, people walking around. The Bondi Beach one I have, all the 11 minutes that somebody filmed the 2 shooters on the bridge. I got all the footage and everything. And maybe at some point it'll be okay to play that, but they never let you play it without sort of demonetizing your videos, etc. That really, there's a lot of bravery. As a matter of fact, in that case, before the shooting, I mean, just as the shootings were happening, this one person took one of the guns from the person, and that's not the one that you've seen. This is on the street, and then that person was killed by another. They got another gun and then shot him and his wife. And then later, another person tackled the person by that tree and then took that gun from him. And, you know, this one lady's like covering up a 3-year-old, and the 3-year-old's freaking out. And I don't know. It's just what a horrendous situation that whole thing was. I just don't know how to cover it with YouTube's terms of service, you know.
It's been created so that you can ensure that you're sharing an accurate and verified photo and video. That website is now live. It is providenceri.gov/tips, TIPS. providenceri.gov/tips is an online file.
I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow they're going to start. They might not even put this video out, the video out of the second guy, because somebody's already said, hey, I know who that is, and they're going to be meeting up with that person or something. I mean, who knows? Or maybe they've arrested him, or I think that they believe he might be involved somehow, not just they want to talk to him because he was in the area.
Folder that has the videos and photos that have been released to date, and it will be updated as we progress. There's been lots of conversation up here about the heroic work.
But hey guys, my challenge, we still need 9 more channel memberships, then I'll donate 5 memberships myself. So if you have the ability to, that would be awesome.
Of the hundreds of law enforcement professionals who remain hard at work 24 hours a day and who are in fact making progress, I want to close with one additional thank you tonight. All of those tip line calls are coming into the city's telecommunications department, the same folks who answer the 911 calls, and they too have been working tirelessly. And I want to thank the men and women at dispatch and at telecommunications for their diligence. Everyone in the city of Providence truly has a role to play in this investigation, and we're grateful for their assistance. We'll take your questions. John.
I think that person, professor was joking around. That's why there was a little heart at the end there.
I have a question for Colonel now. As he's walking around, I want to establish actually, what's the earliest that this person of interest emerges? I believe you had said Saturday morning at 10:30, but then someone else said maybe.
That's just the way cameras are, Dante. That's just the way they are. You know, you don't have the right white balance on a camera. They're just sort of generic. Something might look black. And, you know, we've seen that in many other cases. Same thing.
And I recognize that it fluctuates.
It's not a conspiracy.
But as of right now, what's the earliest that this individual, to your knowledge, shows up on a camera?
About 10:30 a.m. on the date of this tragic incident. However, so like anything else, I also mentioned yesterday that they do case the areas. They do a lot of prior checking for their crime, and so we truly believe that it could be that possibly who's there prior as well. And so we want to make sure that we don't miss anything, and so that's why we're asking the public to help us to ensure within that map area that I mentioned with the borders between Wicked, Brook, all those areas, Gano, that if you have a camera system to reach out to us.
Arcade.
I was in along Hyde Street, Gano today. Tremendous number of federal officials literally going door to door. Would you how would you describe? I mean, it just seems that this is probably right now the most massive, intensive manhunt going on in the world.
I think I agree with you on that, John, and definitely commend the men and women, obviously, and all our federal partners. It's a lot of work, and it's intense, as you stated. It takes a lot to be able to knock on doors, seize videos. There's terabytes of videos that you have to look, and I mentioned it yesterday. We're looking for a moment that takes almost less than a second. And if you miss it, you're missing something that could be critical and important for us to use. And so, yes, it's definitely an intense, and I believe that is probably the most intense investigation going on right now in this nation.
Carl, the second person that you want to talk to, can you drill down at all on any interactions that you believe you may have had with the main person of interest? Do you believe he talked to him? How close was he to him? Any interactions? What can you tell?
So yeah, we have video footage of that determines to us and the detectives that can tell that this person was in the vicinity where the subject of interest was that we wanted.
The vicinity. That's all they ever say. Who's frustrated at that? Put a 1 if you're frustrated with that kind of shit. What do you mean he was in the vicinity? Why don't you say that it appears he runs after him just after that?
that we actually have an interest on.
God, it's so,
Close enough that we feel that we need to speak with
yeah,
them
it's close
to
enough,
find out what because videos don't speak. If you think about it, I wish the video could speak.
I mean, it's technically accurate, but you're not really explaining sort of the gravity of what we're seeing on video here. It's not just, oh, I mean, if that's the case, then, okay, where are we at here? We are at 9 minutes and 47 seconds. If that's the case, why the hell didn't you go talk to this lady over here? I mean, my God, everybody. Look at that. That lady's in the vicinity over there, or that person. They're walking by, man. I mean, hell, look at this. They could have had all kinds of information, everybody. They know that there's more than that, okay? They know that. They're just not going to say.
And then I'll have the answers that we need to, so that we can continue on this investigation. So we're trying to find out exactly what it is, and that's why we need to speak with them. Please.
Does this person, this new individual, have anything to do with why the person of interest was seen running in the surveillance footage?
See, that's it. That's a good question. Is there as to why they're running? But again, even that person didn't say. And then you can see later that they're running after the person. You know.
Again, I wish the videos could speak. We're trying to get those answers.
I wish the video could
And have you
speak.
found any items of interest during your search, specifically clothing?
Nothing as we speak, no.
Up front here.
There's two people running here, not one.
Other first responders was first on the scene that day, and who came next?
So Brown University was on scene, and then immediately the Providence Police Department within minutes was there.
Back there. Green jacket.
Previously released a video from 216 on the day of the shooting, where we see the person of interest come into contact or near another person. Is that the moment that you think this new person and the person of interest might have come close?
That's correct. It's around the area of Benevolent and Cook.
So behind the Rhode Island Historical Society, that corner of George.
Right near that area, correct.
And you had some searches going on in North Attleboro today. Is that connected at all to this case?
I can't confirm. We're all over the place. If a tip comes in and he needs us to go down to Connecticut, we're going down to Connecticut. If a tip comes in and tells us that we got to go to Boston, we're going to Boston.
Right there in the middle of the green jacket. Go ahead.
Is it possible that the second person could become a person of interest?
All we know is that that person was in the vicinity of the subject that we have an interest on.
That isn't all you know. You know that the suspect ran when he apparently saw that person. And then that person, when he went around the corner, when he looked down, he could see the suspect ran after him. So there's a lot more to it than that.
And we want to speak with them.
Listen,
En
Reck.
español, si nos puede contar esta persona, una persona que busca identificar esa interacción, en qué área sucedió y qué tiene de la comunidad.
Yeah, so pretty much the question is just, we can explain in Spanish exactly why we're looking for this individual, why do we want to speak with them. So, esta persona verdaderamente es alguien que nosotros tenemos un interés de hablar con ellos porque estaba en la área inmediata donde este individuo estaba. Entonces queremos saber más de por qué estaba ahí para explicar la razón y qué interacción hubo.
¿Tienen algún indicativo de que la persona que cometió el tiroteo actuó sola o actuó con alguien más?
Eso es lo que estamos investigando.
My question is, have you found any DNA evidence from the crime scene or the area that you believe might belong to the shooter?
So we have found a lot of evidence that we need to, and we use and utilize it to hopefully guide us in the right direction in order to identify the individual that we're looking for.
And you've got the DNA evidence?
This actual physical evidence, this DNA.
By the way, have you guys tried watching this? You can't hear a damn thing that they're saying. So this took me like an hour to go through. First, I boosted the whole video up 15 decibels, which is massive. And then I had to go through and find each question, cut out that part. I mean, that's why you see all these different cuts in here, all these different like edits and everything. Those are the questions. And then each one of those, I boosted up another 15 or so. Some of them 20, so that'd be 35 for some of those, which is almost like silent
Evidence. There's a lot of evidence that we're collecting to ensure that we can find the answer.
Pat.
A question for Attorney General Morona. My understanding from the conversations over the last few days is that the Attorney General's office is taking the lead in terms of doing the investigation. My question is, what's the relationship between the Attorney General's office in the Rhode Island State Police, we haven't heard much from over the last few days in terms of who's doing what and what type of time commitment. I do have a follow-up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we're leading it. I think that we are working closely with our law enforcement investigators. So you divide, I think you can divide in a case like this.
Yeah, at the end there, you're yelling.
The people involved into two groups. So there are at least 5 prosecutors that have been here since Saturday night. I've been here for a fair chunk of it myself, particularly after hours back at the office. But what those prosecutors are doing, Pat, is asking questions, helping to narrow and inform factual inquiries. Certainly when there's a question, all right, do we have enough to get a search warrant for a house or a car or a buckle swab from a person of interest? They're informing that. So in any complex investigation, both federally and stateside, prosecutors are embedded with the investigative team, and we bring our own heads to the investigation because we have been involved in writing search warrant affidavits and arrest warrant affidavits and wiretaps for years.
And the Rhode Island State Police, what kind of role have they played in terms of investigating?
Yeah, the Colonel can answer that. But before you do, Colonel, I just want to make sure that I answer it as well. One of the images that I have most keenly in my mind from a couple nights ago is a state police lieutenant or Derek Melfi talking to John Permiano of the Providence Police, talking to Colin Woods of the FBI, and identifying a certain piece of video evidence that's important to this investigation. And that's how intertwined and cohesive it is, while prosecutors look on and engage at the same time.
So I addressed this question a couple of days ago. So this is a very collaborative effort between all of law enforcement, between the Providence Police, the state police, all of our federal partners. We will continue to develop leads and follow that with the evidence that comes along with that until this perpetrator is apprehended.
Thank you. I have one quick follow-up. For the gentleman from Brown University.
Yep.
Can you say for the record and with complete certainty that every bit of digital mass surveillance, whatever type of evidence was collected by the infrastructure of Brown University has been turned over to the Providence Police Department as well as the Attorney General's office? Is the Brown University withholding anything, for the record?
For the record, we are cooperating 100% with law enforcement. We are turning over everything we have to assist in this investigation.
You have a map and they are fully aware of whatever surveillance is being taken?
All materials are being provided to law enforcement.
Tom.
Thank you very much. Regarding the new person of interest video, who may have had contact with the primary person? Does law enforcement not have the capability to identify and find someone when you have like full face recognition without exposing them to public scrutiny?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something where you have to investigate. If you don't know who that person is, it's very difficult, and especially if the image is blurred, it's very difficult to identify him. And so if we had that availability to be able to identify him without the assistance of the public, we would. So at this point, we do not, and that's why we're putting it out to the public to assist us in identifying who this person is.
And then with this person of interest that you're looking at today, or this subject that you released today, are we sure it's a man? I know it was brought up in the question before, it could be a man. Are we 100% sure it's a man, or could it be a woman as well?
It's a person that we would like to at least speak with.
But, there's no giving a gender at this time?
No reason.
Colonel, there's a black satchel that the main person of interest was carrying. In some images he is seen with it, some images he is seen without it. Have you recovered that black satchel? Do you know if can you tell us whether he was wearing that strapped over his shoulder?
Yes.
Was he wearing it before the shooting, after the shooting?
He's wearing it at times, definitely on and off, and I think I addressed that yesterday. Obviously, that we see him in the video with it, and then at times we don't see him, just like you stated. So we're assuming that he actually hid it under the coat that he was wearing, but we don't have it, no.
Patrick.
Colonel Perez.
Yes.
In the map that you showed, it looks like the perimeter has moved south into the Box Point area from the immediate places where we've seen video footage. Can you tell me why the level of interest has moved south of the shooting site and into the Fox Point area? Is there new video footage? Is there additional evidence that points towards that area?
I mean, the investigation is intensive, so we're following his path. And he's getting us, the last place we saw him was right at Ives near Pittman. And so that's sort of south, and we're going to continue to check, but that's the last place that we saw him. That's why we moved south, and we may continue to move. It all depends. We want to see as far as we can.
Ives near Pittman. There, right there. So that means he did walk that direction. They saw him right there. I'd like to know which direction he was going at that point.
How far we can go to identify him.
Are there any other sightings or anything else down by, I mean, that you've extended all the way to like Wickedon, where we don't have any?
Correct. We're at Ives in Pittman right now, but potentially could lead us further down to Butler. It could lead us further down south. So we just want to make sure we cover enough.
Steve.
Carl, can you now explain to us 5 days later how many students were in that classroom? Sadly, 2 lost their lives, 9 others injured. Encouraged about the update today. But can you now say how many kids were in that classroom? And did the gunman come in from the back so these people never knew it was coming? Or did he come in front with full view of everybody?
And that's all part of the interviews, and actually we're cooperating with Brown to get the roster. That was a study hall, so we don't have the number. We're still getting information as far as who was there. I know Brown sent out an email to the students to notify us if they were present, and we're still getting that, so I can't give you an exact account now.
Okay, and then just a follow-up, you did say that you lost sight of the gunman at some specific road
Correct.
outside of your perimeter.
No, it's within the perimeter, Steve, yeah.
Right, and then what happened with him after that? There's no, you have no video where he could have gone.
We're still out there as we speak. There's people out, there's detectives out there, there's task force officers. We're trying to figure out what other locations we can find, but we haven't found anything else. So, but we're knocking on doors and making sure, and that's why I'm putting out the call to the public to assist us. If you happen to be within that box, that borders exactly where we want you to look, then that's exactly why we're here.
Second round.
Yeah. Inside the classroom, you've done your interviews, you continue to do your interviews. The description that eyewitnesses are giving, does it match the primary person of interest? And what can you say more about the weapon? You know that the TA said that he saw a gun that was so big and so long. Is it possible at this point that the gunman had multiple weapons? Can you swear that?
Yeah, there's definitely, the interviews are definitely telling us that that's the description that we have. And yes, they're describing the weapon. Some people obviously can think it was chaos. And so, but we're definitely getting some info as far as what the weapon looked like and exactly what was going on in that room. So
You don't think there's multiple weapons?
no, just that individual.
I just want to jump in here too, because you mentioned a long gun. We are not in a position to say, unless the chief, you want to square it.
So it sounds like it's more likely a long gun, the way they're talking there. Now, let's look at that again over here. Oh, man. Hey, guys, we need 7 more channel memberships, and I'll donate 5. Let me look at this guy again. Oh, man. I just started choking on a cookie again. Now, what if he had the long gun in there? And maybe he placed it over on campus. I mean, that's another theory. I'm just trying to figure out. And maybe he placed it over here somewhere. And then the other guy was sort of hustling back around. And then after that, he ends up walking over here. Let's see if it looks... You know, is there any difference in his bag over here? I guess it'd be interesting to watch the video. You know. Who knows? But yeah, you got 7 more channel memberships.
Whether this was a long gun or not. I think that there's been an account from the TA. There are multiple accounts about multiple things, including how this gunman approached the victims. Those are not details that advance the investigation. Why not? They don't advance the investigation because as we interview witnesses, we don't want them to learn facts from these press conferences. We want them to relay the facts that they have in their heads, including a person of interest. So we don't want a person of interest to shape what they're telling us based on what we know as expressed to you about those kinds of details, sir, that you asked. So we're being careful about the facts that we're sharing for that reason, so that when we talk to witnesses, what we're getting is their factual recitation. And as you might imagine, in a situation where there is chaos, and look, people are ducking for cover as well they should have, you are going to get different accounts, and part of what's going on now is reconciling those accounts. And I don't know, Chief, if you want to weigh in more about the weapon, but I don't want anyone to leave this room thinking that this weapon was a long gun, because that would be a misperception from what I know. Alex.
In the video released yesterday, it appears that the person of interest is going by a police cruiser that has its lights on. Does that mean that the dash cam in that cruiser was on and activated, and have police been able to recover anything useful from that video?
So that was a brown police cruiser, and I'm not sure if they have body cameras in their cruisers. I don't think they do.
Dash cam, though.
Yes. No.
Okay.
I don't want to answer
my
the
next
chief.
follow-up question would be, are you working with flock camera experts to try and recover anything from those cameras?
So as you know, we work with Flock, we have LPRs in the city, and we're utilizing every resource we can. Yes, Alex.
Brian.
Colonel, you mentioned there is other evidence, but at this point, how much of this investigation turns on the public identifying who's in those images? And are you discouraged or surprised that after a couple of days of it being out there, you haven't gotten anything more concrete?
No, I think this is, like we said earlier, it's a very intense investigation, and I think it's going to take public assistance. It's actually going to take, obviously, 21st century policing involving technology, but it's also going to take good old-fashioned police work, which is knocking on doors, retrieving evidence, going through yards, talking to witnesses. It's going to take all that and more, Brian.
And no one's discouraged. I mean, I've been in that command post. No one's discouraged. I mean, leads are coming in, they're being run to the ground, and no one's discoured. Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been in the command post, as the colonel has, and no one's discouraged. I mean, I get when I'm not there, I get hourly reports from my own team, and there's an enormous amount of energy for people who have been working as hard as they have been. I'm really quite impressed by that, frankly, and there's no discouragement among people who understand that not every case is a case that can be solved quickly. In my view, they get solved. It's just a matter of time, and this case will get solved too.
Would you have a message or an appeal to the shooter or anybody who may think they know who they are who may be on the fence?
Well, look, certainly it would behoove everyone, including the shooter, to provide information to law enforcement. And to the shooter to turn himself in. He will be caught, and it's just a matter of time before we catch him. And I believe that based on my experience, but also from watching the people in that command post and getting reports from where they're coming back out in the field. They know what they're doing, they're experienced, they're working hard. There's no lack of resources. Everyone's working really well together. And we're going to crack this case. And when we crack it, it's going to come open really quickly.
Straight back from the best.
All right, I'll have to try one last time verbally. If you guys are out there and you like the way I do my shows, if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, like I say on my show, I actively try to raise funds to help support it. Some nights we don't do very well. Some nights we do better than others. And usually at the end of each month, I donate thousands of dollars out of the income from either ad revenue or super chats, whatever the hell it is. And I need you guys' support when we have certain nights. Maybe this is one of the ones with more people in here. If you guys have the ability to help support the channel, we spend a lot of hours. I spend a lot of time and effort trying to make sure that everybody has interesting stuff to look at. So it'd be great to be supported when we do that. When you go to a restaurant and somebody's serving you meals, you generally you might support them with tips, etc. That's sort of how YouTube live streams work. There is really no ad revenue on these. Maybe there'll be more than normal, but it's usually a small number compared to ad revenue on videos. So we're trying to get 7 more channel memberships gifted, and then I'll donate 5 of my own money back as well, so we can have 12 more channel members. So is anybody interested in doing that? That'd be great. Thank you.
For you, Mayor, have you spoken with local business owners about how much this is impacting their bottom line, especially during the holiday season, and any concerns that they might have about this?
Yeah, I have. It's hard work being a small business owner, and this time of year is critical to them. There's a commercial district just off campus called Thayer Street. Those businesses are particularly struggling as both students went home early and some people are avoiding the area. Similarly, there's a couple other commercial districts nearby the area, which is Wickenden Street, as has been discussed here tonight, and Wayland Square. The city's Department of Economic Development, in partnership with the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, is reaching out to those business owners to look at assistance programs or otherwise try to support them to ensure that their businesses can stay healthy and vibrant through this. Those conversations started yesterday, and so we're working with the various merchants associations to try to determine what sort of assistance might be most helpful, and when it's ready to announce, we will. Thanks. Please.
My question is for the Colonel. So looking at this new map, there's more video so far of him before than there is after the shooting. Do you think the person of interest got to the vehicle somewhere within this area, and are you going to go get license plate readers?
Absolutely, yeah. We're looking for that evidence, if there was any vehicles involved. And yes, you're right, he was there earlier, and so that's why we're looking at that as well. And definitely we're using, I mentioned that earlier, the LPRs, the flock, any cameras. That's why we're making a call out to the public to assist us with that. And so part of those resources that we're going to need, as the general stated, to make that apprehension.
Dan.
I have a question to follow up first to the Attorney General. Attorney General Dan Junick, NBC 10.
Hi, Dan.
You had said the other day that you released the person of interest because the DNA didn't match, which would assume that there was DNA of the person of interest in that room. Can you tell us what it was, and if he hasn't committed a crime before, how it makes it a little bit more difficult?
Yeah, so DNA, when it's entered into a nationwide system, can confirm the identity of a suspect or subject. And certainly the advantage here is that when we find a person of interest, and we can get a search warrant for what we call a buccal swab, we can compare that to a known quantum of evidence. That can rule people in, and it obviously can rule people out. That's a powerful piece of evidence, but it's not the only evidence. And relatedly to the question about, do we need only the public? The public is going to really help us here by identifying this person. But at the same time, there are other leads coming in through other forms of electronic and other evidence that are taking multiple teams out in different directions. And we're able, through a variety of means, not just DNA evidence, to rule people in or rule people out. And it's a combination of really impressive work by, vector experts in various forms of modern law enforcement techniques.
I have a second question. So I asked this question out of deep respect, but I asked it for a lot of parents who are frustrated who reached out to me, so please keep that in mind. And they want to know how a school with a $9 billion endowment does not have cameras on one of the older buildings at the edge of the campus where this happened, not even in the front door, who's coming and going. Now they asked this question knowing that the shooter may have done whatever he wanted, but the cameras, A, would have deterred, or B, captured a better look at him, and we wouldn't be here today 5 days out. I want you to explain that, because there's a lot of parents who are wondering, where are you investing your money?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, and I want to reiterate, as our president did, that supporting our students and communicating to the parents, to our community about our support is of utmost importance. We have 1,200 cameras located throughout the campus. We don't publish the locations of the cameras. That would give a map to somebody to evade detection on the cameras. So that would be counterproductive to do that. There are cameras in this building, and as I answered the previous question, we have turned over all evidence that we are holding at Brown to law enforcement and are cooperating fully with them.
So you're saying that there's cameras in the building. I was told yesterday there wasn't cameras in the building. The Attorney General said, old building, no cameras, attached to a new building with cameras.
I believe he said that there were two different phases of the building that might have two different levels of technology. Again, all video imagery has been turned over to law enforcement.
That doesn't make sense.
Amanda.
Okay. I have a question for the chief and a question for the FBI. Chief.
How you doing, Amanda?
So, looking at this person of interest and from the witness descriptions, it appears that this person had a genuine familiarity with Brown, possibly with that building as well. Have you, in questioning people, have you questioned and eliminated any Brown employees, current, former, disgruntled, facing discipline, any type of complaints?
Yeah, at this point, it's unknown to us. I think that the investigation is on, but it's unknown to us where this person works. It's unknown to us if he was an affiliate of Brown. That's all unknown to us. All we have is the image that we've been releasing and informed you all about it. And so we're hoping to get those answers eventually, who that person is or what their background is.
Okay. Any questions to follow up to the FBI, please?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I understand that the FBI has doing tower dumps of cell phone data, and I'm not sure if this is also happening, but if you're also checking the MAC addresses of any phones related to any of the Wi-Fi at residences or at Brown University as well. If so, how long does it take to get that information? Have you really even received any preliminary information that is helping you narrow down any potential persons of interest?
I will say that I don't want to get into the specifics of the techniques that we use investigatively, but I will say that we are using every resource that we have to find this subject and bring him to justice.
But when it comes to cell phone data, how long does it take to get that information? Will you be getting weeks, months?
I will say that it varies as it relates to getting that type of data. I will say that everything that we're doing is getting expedited based on the gravity of what has happened here at Brown University.
Right next to it.
Have you recovered any physical evidence during these recent searches and possibly in Phoenix on magazine?
So we have done extensive searches both inside the location as well as outside. Yes, we have seized and found physical evidence. We have found physical evidence. I'm not going to confirm. I'm sorry? Yeah.
Colonel, for the past couple of days we have zeroed in on this particular person of interest. Can you kind of help remind us about why you believe this is someone who...
I wonder what the physical evidence is. What do you think? And thanks, Marty's Bar and Grill. Marty's Bar and Grill. All right, we only need 2 more now, you guys. We need 2 channel memberships gifted, and then I'll donate 2. Or 5, I mean. I'll donate 5 if we get 2 more. What's Jeremy? You just seem like you're giggling all over the place. Is it what they're saying up there? I mean, what's your deal? You seem kind of odd.
possibly could be either the shooter or a suspect?
Yeah, maybe it's shell casings. I think it is going to be. You guys think it's going to be like an AR-15? Maybe it was folded up.
You've been very careful not to say a suspect. It's a person of interest, that this is the only video.
I'll tell you what, though. Like, we heard that he came out of this door over here. How do we know he didn't go in through that door? And then maybe he had, you know, not there, but like right over, right here. He came in through that door there. I mean, is there a way to get into that door, or is that the only way to get out there? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that door was open. But what if he went in this way with an AR-15 that was sort of hidden by that first guy somewhere? You know? Who knows?
Can you help remind us about why you believe this is the person, not looking for other?
Anyways, thanks again there. Marty's Bar and Grill, you guys. So who will do the other two so that I can donate the 5 memberships?
Yeah, we have enough evidence. I think that's taking us to that level to identify this individual as someone who was there immediately after, before, case in the area. There's enough for us to believe.
What are you referring to there, Marty? Hey, look at that. We got Lynn.
That's definitely a subject of interest based on descriptions, based on statements. And so that's the reason we're calling him a subject of interest, just to ensure that we have enough. And once we identify him, to be able to take the next step.
A quick follow-up. You were clear not to use gender with the person in proximity to the person of interest. You have been using male pronouns in describing the person as a man. for this particular person of interest, we can say for sure you believe this, we are looking for a man, for the person of interest?
Correct. In the back.
Oh, well, there's Chris O'Connell again. Well, thank you. So there you go. I wish some of these other people would have helped support the channel, but we'll just go ahead and appreciate. It's just I wish it was more like democratic, where a few other people. But hey, I'll take whatever I can get. It's just I wish there wasn't like the same people having to always be supporting the channel. Anyways, thank you so much, Chris O'Connell, and then Linda Cosma. There, you snuck one in there, and then I just did 5. So thank you guys.
At this point, and this is for the FBI, at this point, this person could be anywhere, right? I-95 runs right through the state. So how are you coordinating with other states to determine whether this person of interest could be elsewhere?
No, that's a great question. Through all of our field offices, we have 56 field offices throughout the United States, as well as legats abroad. And so the information that we have, once it goes into our data systems, we are sharing that information.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think tomorrow they're going to release more footage of the second person, but I would be shocked if, given the footage we've already seen, especially this one, unless he's got some weird mask on his face, that somebody has got to know who this is right here. I mean, this is, unless they came from, 1,000 miles away and showed up there, maybe people here wouldn't recognize this person. But it's a clear shot of a face.
Real time with all of our FBI field offices and the partners as well. And so that is a way in which we're making sure that whether that subject has left the state or even left the country, that we are using that full reach of the federal arm to track that individual down.
And follow up real quick.
What does that mean, Linda Cosma? Trying to give it to big fish. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, you just did one right there. You just gifted one. I just saw you.
Maybe, within the 24 hours ahead of that time, there is a lot of footage that could be gone through those 1,200 cameras that you say there are.
You know what? I think these guys absolutely dropped the ball on the surveillance angle. I mean, they've got a lot of surveillance, so far. But what I think what happened in this case was they got that one person of interest and arrested him the first, within 48 hours. So then they sort of slowed down their canvassing of the area to get surveillance. And then as soon as they released the guy, remember that late night press conference kind of, hey, we got the wrong guy, And then the next day they're like, hey, now if you live in these areas, make sure we're canvassing for surveillance. Well, you should have already canvassed for the surveillance, and you don't need to limit the area. As I said before, what they needed to do was have a map and then go around and canvass right away, go to every single home, and every place that there's surveillance, chart it on a map and ask those people to send you their footage they have between, let's say, 10 in the morning and 6 o'clock at night on that date. And then you have the database set up where it's all based on a map. And then as you're tracking around, you don't even need to look at the surveillance yet. You start looking at surveillance, and as you're tracking them, you pull up the video that would represent the next place he might go and see if you can see him on there. And then if he turns a left, you pull up the guy's footage that was down that street that sent in his video, and you just keep going and going and going, and you would just nail this sucker. And instead it's like, well, if you live in this area, give us a call. It's stupid. Somewhere out there, there's likely a shot of him getting into somebody's car.
Or in the school, why hasn't that just been...
And thank you guys very much for helping support the channel tonight. It kind of makes up for that one night where I wasn't able to do a show because I was so tired. I rarely miss shows. Like I would say out of 365 days a year, I do 355 shows minimum, like that's just like, I think I have like 2 normal days off, and I really don't take any, 2 different little weekend vacation things. And then most of the rest of the time, if I miss a show, it's because I'm sick or something, but that's not really that common. But we do like 355 live streams a year, I would say. At least I mean, 350 to 355. I don't think 15 days of mist is likely at all.
Well, let me play devil's advocate. Would you like all of it?
Yes.
Well, because here's why. Because
yeah. No, I want, yes. I want every single piece of surveillance that you have. Every single bit of it.
Because it doesn't tell us anything about who committed this crime.
Yeah, it does, though. Well, then why did you release the footage? Let me ask you something, then. See, this guy is full of shit. Why did they release this shot? All right? This one right here. Hold on. Is it that one? I think it's later in this one. Yeah, this one right here. Why did you release this one? Wow. Oh, yeah, I know who that is. Hey, look, it's Jim. Hey, thanks for releasing that one, man. That one was really clear. Thank you. See, that's just garbage. There's no reason to release this footage here at all, based on what he said. Now, if you're saying you're releasing all the footage, then shit, yeah, man, I want this one. I want all the rest of them. And that's cool, but to sit there and make, that's just a complete bogus thing that he just said. You know, like, we only going to release, let's play that again.
Here's why. Because it doesn't tell us anything about who committed this crime yet. If we get a better image of who committed this crime, you'll have it. There is no effort to preclude the public, online investigators in the press, from getting to the result faster than we can. If you can identify this person faster than we can, have at it. But we are giving you the best evidence we can to identify this person. The FBI, with respect, cannot find a person we have not identified yet. The way we identify him is to focus on this person.
Who is this guy? He doesn't seem like he's... I wouldn't want him running anything.
Exhaust our investigative resources to pull videotape so that we can get an image out there that the public may be able to identify. At the same time, exploiting other evidence to try to track this person in different...
They have been doing press conferences. I'll give them credit. There's people out there that say, well, they shouldn't be doing press conferences. I disagree. I think it's cool that they're doing press conferences. What I don't like is what they're saying. You know, I mean, I guess I appreciate that they're doing press conferences every day. I just don't like the fact that in this press conference, they're not even mentioning the fact that the person ran after him, and that's why it seems more important. And I think that would generate more interest in the case by other people. Like, oh my God, that is weird. Oh, wow. And they'd be really looking forward to more footage coming out, etc. And just the way they say things, they don't seem to... I mean, I think they think people are dumb or something. I mean, I think a lot of people are dumb, but we're not. Not the freaks.
Different ways, which has been going on for the last 72 hours. So, well, what does that look like?
Oh, yeah, remember that? Chris O'Connell? Was that last year? 2 years ago. We had a horrendous winter storm here, and my neighbors were really irresponsible people who, they have these big branches that are over the power line. They never, I mean, a branch just fell on their car yesterday. It was stupid. But we cut all of ours off and everything, but they had a branch, and it sort of knocked down the electricity, a wire, but we still had electricity, and then this other branch shorted out our street. We're just on a side street. We're not a main street, so we're like last. So there was like a 4 or 5 day period where we didn't, I don't remember how many days it was, but we didn't have electricity, and I was sitting in my living room, and I was doing a live stream using my cell phone, sort of hotspot, connected to a generator, sitting in the living room, and it was cold. I mean, I was down to my last logs into the fireplace, and lo and behold, I see a light out on the street, and it's freaking the electrical people. They actually fixed it right then. It was a freaking miracle.
What that looks like is information comes in. It could come in from the tip line. The team runs it to ground. They rely on other evidence, the flock cameras that the colonel referenced, other electronic data that Amanda's referring to, and you can rule that person in or out. When that person's is ruled out, you move on to the next one. The way the public helps us now is to help us identify this person, okay? But that's not the exclusive way we're going at it. but it does not advance our investigation to have reams of data out there that don't help identify the shooter. And we're confident of that.
My follow-up question just to that was as well is, we speak a lot about the public helping as well, and the FBI is involved. But 5 days, a person can get very far in 5 days. What other state police departments are helping you with this, and do you have any of indication where how far this person may have gotten in this time?
Go ahead,
Yeah, no, I got it. So pretty much it's a great point, and that's something that we're considering. Obviously, he could be anywhere. You're right. And I think the fact that we're all here in this room and we're providing the info and it's being spread out through this nation, I would hope, I'm speaking to different chiefs. I've had the privilege to know a lot of them. We're exchanging info as we speak. We don't know. But we still don't know what the person is or who he is, right? And so we're going to continue.
Well, hey, Marty, like I know when you wrote up there, you said, what was the word again? You said, yeah, you don't feel like you have to send super chats in or anything like that. All right, I appreciate your support and everything, but like you said, you don't know if you're compulsive or whatever the other term was. I don't want you to feel like that, so don't worry about it. I just try to get people like, hey, if you want to help support the channel tonight, just to keep things moving along, because we've had sort of struggled last month and this month, and we're just trying to keep things rolling. But nobody's required to do anything.
To view, review, and then send out. And I just want to touch on that question because you do make a good point. If there's 1,200 cameras, right? How come we're not seeing it at all?
But I finally saw your reply. I didn't know what you were referring to. That kind of sucks.
But at the end of the day, we're looking at key evidence, key video evidence to send out. It makes no sense to re-victimize students who went through that. That's not my job, and that my responsibility is to ensure that people are safe. It's no different than I'm asking the public to provide me with video footage for weeks. I don't want to know what's going on in their homes for weeks. I want to know if they can see a piece of evidence that is going to be helpful for us to progress in this investigation.
What do you know about the level of public access to Garrison Hall? Is this a door that somebody from the shooter would have been able to walk in, or is this a place where you would have Skype access to get in?
Certainly. Thanks for that question. Brown is no different than most colleges and universities that during daytime hours, there's open access to academic spaces. So that was the case on the day of the event.
Question for Brown. There are some buildings on campus that have maybe private or non-police security guards posted at the front entrance. Was there a security guard ever posted at the engineering building entrance? If so, were they there that day, and what did they do? And if not, why not?
So maybe I'll ask our chief of police to speak to that.
On that day, we did not have and do not have a security asset posted.
Well, I don't want you feeling that way, Marty. Jeez. I thought you were doing it because you were able to and wanted to help support the channel. I didn't. Makes me feel bad.
Sit inside the building.
Is that atypical of a Saturday or in that particular building? How do you determine where security is posted, and is that under the purview of Brown Police?
That is typical for that academic space.
That there would not be a security personnel?
Correct.
One for the Colonel, one for the Assistant. As far as the investigation goes, any updates on a possible motive here? And for the mayor, while having...
It's always such a dumb... I don't know. It's like, I guess if you knew somebody was a target, you could say something. But, if you don't even know who the person is, how do you come up with a motive?
We're getting towards Christmas time. Obviously, this suspect can get lots of different places, not just on campus there. What is your message to people coming into this area, seeing family who are concerned that this guy is still out?
Yeah, so the motive is unknown at this time.
As we're, what are we, a week away from Christmas now? This only emphasizes the question that I think everyone's been asking, which is, are we safe in Providence right now? Which honestly is the hardest.
Why is this guy even here? The mayor. He doesn't need to be at these things. You know, he doesn't even know what the hell they're doing. I mean, the investigators know what they're doing.
This
guy-
question that I keep getting asked. And whether it's the holidays or not, but with the holidays, we expect even more people to want to come home and celebrate with family and share the traditions that, you know, are seared in all of our brains of holidays with our parents and loved ones. We can't lock down the city indefinitely. We can't. And I know this city. I know that they are tough. I know that they are resilient. I know that they have faced scary times before. And so we are doing everything possible to provide extra law enforcement, extra visibility, things to reassure confidence at a scary time. And it is a scary time here in the city. That's true at Christmas time. That was true when this started on Sunday morning, the first morning after. And so we are doing everything possible, but obviously families are going to have a conversation about what's right and what's best. But they should know that their city government is doing everything they know how. And thanks to the help of our friends, the governor, the Rhode Island State Police, our neighboring communities here in Rhode Island. For those of you who aren't from Rhode Island, this is a tight-knit place. And we have police officers from every corner of Rhode Island helping out in Providence right now. And so we are doing everything we can to reassure folks, to provide comfort, particularly as we expect will be even busier a week from now. And that is the best honest answer that I can give to that very difficult question. Please.
This question is...
Okay. Okay, Marty, I wasn't sure. It made me feel bad. I don't want anybody feeling like that. But you were joking. Okay, good. All right, everybody. Marty was joking. It's hard to catch a joke on the, just reading text, right? Especially dry humor. It's hard to pick it up.
For the Colonel, I know you've been interviewing survivors, specifically survivors that were in that classroom where the shooting took place. Have any of those survivors described the person of interest as the shooter, or have they given a physical description of the shooter that is similar to the person of interest that we've been shown?
That's correct. Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
They have.
Yes.
Can you tell us something actionable steps
No.
you've received at this point?
Happy to see Steve Clampkin.
Thanks very much. A two-part question, both for Colonel Perez and Mr. Dawson, FBI. As you've expanded the area that you've appealed to people who may have cameras within about an 80-block area, is it fair to say that the calls of people with cameras have tailed off, that you've gotten about all you can get?
Oh, we're still getting info. We're still getting calls, and we're doing a lot of knocking on doors, and it's been extremely helpful. So no, we're not done. We're going to continue to expand, and we get calls, and sometimes just knocking on doors alone is providing us that evidence.
And notwithstanding the fact the FBI issues a bulletin to all of its field offices and so forth, is it fair to say that until and unless you get a picture of this guy stepping into a car, you're not going to, basically starting from square one? Don't really have a sense of who he is, where he's going, and how he's getting there.
I would say, as it relates to the FBI, as well as our partners here, any information that comes in, that has not tailed off at all. And I would say one thing that remains constant is we will always need the public's assistance in anything that we do. No matter what you guys may see on TV, we will always need the public's assistance. I say as it relates to that, any tip that comes in, the information that we get, we're able to aggregate that and push out, not only to make links with other FBI field offices, so in a way in which we can follow that lead all the way to ground. And so the information that is coming in, we are pushing that out throughout our field offices, throughout our partnerships into that community, and then we get it back as well. That's helping us to cross off leads in which are not valid, and then to push on leads that are valid as well.
But without that, I don't know if it's a video or something that shows him stepping into a car and you get a plate or something along those lines,
Right.
it makes your job that much more difficult.
Yes, and I mean, I think we mentioned this job is painstakingly difficult. but we've signed up to do it. As the AG mentioned, we have not lost.
I think they just, the video is the key in this case. Somebody has a freaking camera somewhere that shows him getting near his car. Okay? And then, once you see him go to the car, you go back to the time he got there. Let's say you're looking at this map, and you're kind of like, oh wow, look at this, we got him over here on William Street. And then you see other cameras and you don't see him. All right, and then you might think like, okay, well, let's watch that video from earlier, and maybe at 10 in the morning, oh, look, there's a car that comes by. And then maybe you can start like thinking that maybe that was his car that drove by there, or, you'd have to, as soon as you get down here, then you start looking at other cameras. Somebody's got a shot of him getting into the car somewhere, or near his car. And then there's probably footage of the car driving by. It's just, I don't understand. It's not rocket science. These guys should, if the FBI was running the show here, they'd be a lot further along, I can tell you.
Any vigor or investigative rigor as we've gone forth into this, I will say that evidence that you're talking about sounds more like a smoking gun. Oftentimes, within my experience in the FBI, and I'm sure our partners as well, we get seeds. We only get seeds. And then through that hard work, as the colonel mentioned, we end up building that story. We put that puzzle together. That's what we do. That's what we signed up for, and we're committed to that.
Yeah, we already said that, Ruthie.
In the back there. Yeah.
It's 8 seconds of video, not 9. We've already gone over that a million times. It's nothing new.
Colonel, I want to follow up on one of my colleagues over there. You mentioned
Thank you, Ruthie. Yeah, so, as we've explained many times on here, if you go over to here, let's go back to this portion. So right up here, it's 2:16 and 19 seconds. He's looking around, and just kind of look over here, too. Upper right, upper and middle left over here. He goes over and he looks to the right. And he sees the guy coming. And he's like, oh. Then he kind of darts around the corner. And then right here at 2:16 and 28 seconds. It's almost 29 actually so it's less than 8 seconds. So right here, everybody just watch this part. So that's his legs there, and then they disappear because the camera quit recording. So what they did is they took, and that was at 2:16, 28 and some odd, fractions of a second. And this one is 2:16, 36 because that's the next time motion was detected, and it starts with that car right there. And then for less than 8 seconds, probably like 7.5 seconds, they have a still frame that they just placed in there. So notice that car, how it's not moving at all. It's just one still frame that they put in there as a placeholder for the missing time. And then also the placeholder, if you look right over here, let's go back a little bit. This was something that somebody sent me. I didn't notice this myself. So look right over here. And then we'll stop it. Oh, yeah, there it goes. It disappears, right? So right there, it's gone. Now, right now is the placeholder. So check it out. We go right there. And then let's back it up a space. Now, see that space there, that light? And then it's dark? Well, that's significant. And so let's see. We're really seeing 8 seconds later. 7.5 seconds later. That's what we're staring at right now. And then interestingly, though, as we move forward in time to get back to the original 2:16:36, we move it forward, and then let's just, okay. So we're getting close to that time. Now watch this. Frame, frame, frame. I'm moving forward. As you hear that clicking sound, that's frame, 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 nothing, nothing, nothing. That's a moving car. It's not moving because it's a still frame. And there it goes. See, it finally moves right now. Boom. There it is. Now the car is moving because the still frame isn't needed anymore because now we've got video. So let's just go to where it's still, and there it moves. Then we'll back it up one. to where it's still. Now let's go back down to that spot that was over here. See, that's dark. That is the suspect's body through the bushes there. He's still standing there. Now watch when I move it forward. He's moving to the left. And watch this. And you can actually see him moving out of the screen to the left. So that is the suspect there. And so right around, that was 2:16:37, he's moving to the left. But it's interesting because in those 8 seconds, he was moving slower, almost like he's waiting right there to be able to see. Hey, Ruth, we got it all, man. We got it. Look at. So right over here, he's waiting to. Oh, you're talking about different time frame. So right now he was standing there, but if you think about it, he was running, and then it stopped recording right there, and then 8 seconds later he's only right there. That means he kind of slowly started walking, and then I think he was looking back this way. And watch this. He comes around the corner now, and he had already taken off a little bit because you could probably see him through, over there moving through the open, it's that time of year where there's not a lot of, as many leaves. And then this guy goes around the corner and he starts sprinting after him. See that? Look at, there it is. And so it's interesting how he ran, and then even 8 seconds later, his body's still right there, but it stopped recording right there. And that, that means he walked, almost like he stopped and then slowly walked, right? Or he ran and then stopped right there. And then he waited for him, like, hey, here I am, I'm over here. And then the guy ran and followed him. Pretty crazy, right? So you're saying at 2:08, let me look. And what about the 8 seconds? There's lots of missing time. I mean, it isn't just, right there's 30 seconds missing. They don't have every camera linked up. See, that's 2:08 and 19 seconds. And then it goes right here at 2:08 and 48 seconds. Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, we noticed that before. Like in this portion here where he's walking and that lady is across the street. I don't know why it could just be that the camera stopped recording because there's not a lot of motion going on. Like this guy isn't moving a lot, so he might have stood still, motion stopped, and then it started recording again. All right? We don't know. That's similar to the other camera. A lot of these are motion-activated cameras. But isn't that interesting how he looks down that street, and that's exactly where that other guy is spotted going into the yard. In fact, it's like right there. See, there's this. That's him. I think we're onto something from earlier. If we look at this shot right here, this is what I made. This is the guy. See? That's him. And that's exactly where they took this photo from. And so it's like he's walking and then he's turned. So that left foot's still planted, right? See that? That's the left foot. And then it's still planted and he's turning to the right. So that's inside of that area. But I bet you, and by the way, that blue there is just because I used the still frame. He's not there. So it's interesting. Is he, at this point, is this just before that? Like, is this at... Let's see, let me move forward. So that's him walking by there. Isn't that weird? He walks by there. And then he's over here. So let's see what the time frame is. See, that's crazy. In this one, he walks right by there. And then he goes to that corner. And then he sort of waits around and loiters over here. And he waits. And now, wouldn't that be interesting? See how he's looking down that street? And then, so wouldn't that be interesting if while he's looking down that street, which is right here, he's on this corner looking down the street, is he watching that person go into this yard over here on 110 Benevolent? Is that what he's seeing right here? That he goes in there. Then, as we've seen on surveillance, the next shot is like this. Now, we know that from above means that, from this location where he was standing right here on this corner, looking down that street, he actually went all the way down here, came around this corner, and then at 2:13 he's seen right there. Then at 2:16 is when he's spotted right here on the corner. And was that guy still in there and then just came out and then went this way, and then he starts running, and then you get what I'm saying? I mean, it's pretty interesting. Like, for example, what if this guy came in here and then he goes back out this way and then starts walking? That would make it so that on this video right here, where you see that brick sidewalk there, he may have just went back out to the street and walked by right there as the main suspect shows up back over at that corner from walking around that other block. I think it's pretty interesting.
Work, and my colleague mentioned crossing people off the list, like basically making sure it's not that person, it's not that person. In homicide investigations, isn't it usually someone close to the victim? And if so,
well, because the victims described him and said that the person that they're following looks like the guy that did the shooting.
and the person also seemed to know Brown somewhat. Have you knocked off every single person from Brown? When I say knocked off, I mean they didn't do it, from staff to students.
Yes, of course. I mean, an investigation.
I guess if your aunt had, see, Big Darren said, what if neither of the two were actual shooters? We said that earlier in the evening, but also, what if your aunt had a penis? I guess it would be your uncle, you know?
And I don't think that in every homicide, everyone that commits the homicide is close to that person. That's not something that happens. But we have obviously eliminated those strong leads that come up as strong leads. As a tip comes up, we label it as a high priority, medium priority, low priority. And yes, once we go through and make sure that we cover everything and we prove that that person has nothing to do with it, absolutely, we clear it up.
Yeah, and if I could I just want to jump in here to clarify that. So clearly, one of the things the investigators do, or maybe not so clearly, is that when you have a victim, you build back all of the relationships. You do that in any case. And so you build a profile of your victims so you know who may have threatened them, what they may have said that might have caused somebody to react a certain way. So yeah, that work is ongoing in conjunction with all the other work we're doing. But from where I sit today, there's been no development of any evidence that suggests that that's what drove this shooter. That could change, but there's nothing that we have recovered or analyzed to date that suggests that.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get the footage of suspect number 2 to see what he was doing. They need to put out all the footage of him at the science building because he goes into the yard.
It was specific person motivated. Again, could change, but we're 5 days out. That work is being done, and there is nothing that suggests that at this time.
Last question.
This is for.
Hey, you guys, let's have one more like-hitting.
Stupid is being.
I don't know what I was going to say, but let's hit the like button. Hit that like button 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button 40. Do our 50, 55, 60. Hit that like button 10, 20. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. But just hit that damn like button. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. You just hit the damn button. Thank you very much.
I'm tired of it. 10 down, 15.
All right, there you go.
Law enforcement and potentially Brown, but 5 days have passed. How is it possible that we still don't have a clear idea of who was in the classroom during the shooting?
Well, 5 days have passed. It could be 6 days. We were hoping that only 1 day passed. Unfortunately, investigations, as this nature of investigation, as intensive as it is going to take time. And it's going to take a lot of time to be able to interview, seize evidence, examine it, to come up with the right person. But as the general stated, a person is going to get caught. We're going to do our job, and we're not going to stop until we do. And so we're going to continue. It could be later, it could be tomorrow, but we're not stopping until we find it.
Tomato.
Entering that classroom in particular now.
No, I'd be happy to speak to that. So at this time of year, we have final exams taking place. We also have study
we've all thought of that,
sessions
Paula.
taking place.
We mentioned it at the beginning of the show,
classroom,
remember?
It was a study session. Had it been a final exam, we'd have a roster, we'd handed it over. We know exactly who was in the room because everybody shows up for a final. The first study session, it's elective.
We're finishing the answer. Ronaldo.
It's elective.
Wait, you thought of, Paulette, the hunting of a professor? Give me a break.
It's elective to turn out for a study session. So we don't know exactly what fraction of the overall roster turned out.
You're talking about the hunting of a professor? No professors were killed. It was students. I think it was either a student. But the information we have now, I don't think lends itself to him stalking, waiting for a particular person. The weird movements that he's doing are related to the other guy that's in the video. He's waiting around for that person. You know what I'm saying? Like at first I thought, okay, he was waiting, he's looking down the street, waiting for one of the students to come out so he knows when they're going to go to the school. But I don't see that now. Now it's like he looks like that because that other guy is moving around and they're connected in some way.
Military review session.
So there's no physical law, just to clarify?
Law enforcement is working to reconstruct that, but there would not be a formal law.
The camera in that building, they brand put off because the sanctuary city law that we have.
Are you talking about MIT? What are you talking about?
And you don't want to
We're
provide
talking
the
about this
footage
case.
to the FBI or immigration authority. One camera in that building, he come out
No.
with other detectives, they're a friend of mine, they're angry at this investigation that these people in Brown University put the camera.
This is a joke, right? I mean, obviously that's a joke. Nice try, nice try. I mean, if that's serious, man, you got to switch. You know, I wouldn't follow true crime ever again. It's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Here we go. Hey, Gray, maybe they were playing a game like hide and seek, just messing around while they checked out the neighborhood. Absolutely not. Absolutely zero chance of that being true.
They can identify that person. You imagine how the family is going to go through? Tell the truth to the media here.
See, this guy is like pretty angry. Let's listen.
And you don't want to provide the footage to the.
Okay, let's see.
Enforcement is working to reconstruct that, but there would not be a formal law.
The camera in that building, they brand put off because the sanctuary city law that we have. You don't want to record illegal immigrants, and you don't want to provide the footage to the FBI.
Well, they actually went to school together. They were playing Ring Around the Rosie, Pocket Full of Posy. Maybe they were playing musical chairs. We don't know if down the street they didn't put a chair and they just ran around the block really quick. When the music was playing, they both had a Walkman, listening to music, had it timed up and synced. So when they were running around, they had to find the closest chair to them to sit down. And at first there was 3 chairs, then there was 2, then there was 1. And my God, I think the shooter actually won. And he goes, okay, I'm done playing Ring Around the Rosie. I'm headed towards the office building now to do the shooting. Thank you very much. That's a great theory.
Or immigration authority. One camera in that building, he come out with other detectives, they're a friend of mine, they're angry at this investigation that these people in Brown University put the camera off, they can identify that person. You imagine how the family is going to go through? Tell the truth to the media here. Putting cameras off.
We heard from both the Brown Police Chief and the Provost at Brown, who have shared that they have been fully cooperative and been forthcoming with all data and evidence that they have. The City of Providence's experience is the same, which is that Brown has been entirely cooperative and collaborative and fully sharing with us. We will be back here tomorrow. Once again, if you are not on the press list and you would like to be updated, please see Camille. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Yes, at 4. Good afternoon.
Well, anyways, there you go. That is the press conference that I boosted up all the audio so we could listen to it. Yeah, it's so weird how the media's just dropped the ball on this shit. They just think the guy was running. We came up with that first. You know, the guy's running because of that person. But then it gets way more interesting when the person actually starts running after him. Because that sort of simultaneously connects them in some way that we're not aware of. But because he's not following him, almost immediately, you know, like look where this is shooting from. Let's figure this out here. So that part where you see him running is right here, right? And then let's go look at that shot again. So the hedges. He's right there. Let's move it down. He's literally about right here where you first pick him up on that camera. Right in there. See, he's right around that corner. And so that means that we would have to believe, let me make that smaller. We'd have to believe that in just that little bit of space, that somehow, when the guy started running right here, and he was really only 8 seconds, maybe 10 seconds behind him, maybe 12, that somehow he lost him, and then this guy just casually walks down the street. And he's literally spotted right there. So in that little bit of time, he lost him? No way, man. Now let's take a look at what is the timing of this? Does it make sense? You know, like, is there time missing? Like, here's what I want to know. How long does it really take to walk from here to there? We can probably figure it out by looking at some of his other footage here. And then let's see if there's some time missing. I think this might be interesting. What's this thing down here? How did that happen? Let me get this view. Let's see. Window, workspace, reset, save layout. All right, there we go. Ah, that feels better. All right, that's interesting. So that's 2:18:19 when he's right there. Okay, I'll just write this down. I think there's missing time here. I don't think it was just like he just kept moving. And I think this might be the key time frame. I mean, if we believe that there was a transfer of some sort, it wouldn't be instantaneous, and there'd be some time missing here. So I would say we're going to go 2:18:19. All right? And that's when, right there is what this time is. And then right here is 2:16. Let's see that last time that we see that little movement over here, right? If there's nothing there, and then he's there because that's the still frame, and then he's gone right there, and that time is, God, stop moving. This thing is ridiculous. It's actually getting stuck to the, hold on. Oh, this is crazy. What is this thing right here? Let me get rid of that. All right. So this is 2:16:38. 2:16:38. You know what we can do is, let's just do it like, let's just measure it. And we're going to go up here, and he's seen, so he goes around this block like that, and then from, I would say right here, let's just go from, I think it's about right there to here, and then to right there is how far in feet. All right, now let's open up ChatGPT. Let's see, chat. I think it's this one. That's not the one I have. I don't even know what this one is. Let's see. This one. There we go. There we go. That's where it asks questions. Okay, so we have 497 feet. Walking at 2.5 miles per hour how long in seconds would it take to walk 497 feet?
At 2.5 miles per hour. 2.5 miles per hour equal to
Let's say 2 minutes.
3.67
Wow.
feet per second.
That's crazy.
Distance equal to
That means
497
you're
feet.
running for part of that.
Time equal to 497. 3.67, approximately equal to 135.5
Well, actually, that's pretty
seconds.
slow, though. So how about
Final
3
answer.
miles per hour?
Approximately equal to
2.5 miles an hour is really slow walking.
at
Like
3 miles per hour. 3 miles per hour equal to 4.4 feet per second. Distance equal to 497 feet. Time equal to 497. 4.4, approximately equal to 113
they
seconds.
have them at, it would take 1:53 walking at 3 miles an hour. And so what do we have here? These time differences make it 1 minute and 41 seconds. So that would almost indicate that he was running for part of that time again. Because it's 16:38 and then 18:19, so that would be 22, 30, 41, 1 minute and 41 seconds. And let's go back to ChatGPT and type in, how fast was he going if it took 1 minute and 41 seconds? 1 minute and 41 seconds. I'm going to say 3.2 miles an hour, which is not, it's
Let's calculate it.
3.35.
1 minute 41 seconds equal to 101 seconds. Distance.
All right, so that's 3.35 miles an hour. So did they run to a certain spot and then have just a moment to transfer something? Because that would be, if you walk 3.35 miles an hour, which is pretty fast, but it's not ludicrously quick. It's just somebody walking fast. And that's what it would have been for him to get around that corner, but it seems like he would have ran for part of it. And then maybe that's the time where it's like, hey, here's this, and then you run, It's, I don't know what to say. It's so bizarre. Like, the guy chases him, and then if you walk 3.35 miles an hour, he'd be right there. Right at that time, and that's a reasonable pace. It's quick, but it's not ludicrously fast. What do you guys think about that? We already have all that. It's right here. Yeah, but I think I'm going to need to make an animation of this and have him moving around in different locations at different times, and then I could sort of put up in the corner the surveillance footage that matches the movement, and then we'll just have to say, hey, there's a lot of missing time, by the way. It's like we've got everything's dialed in from 2 o'clock till about 2:18 or so. Wait, what time is this footage? So he went back, and by this one, that shouldn't be 2:09. That should be like 2:19. Let me look at that again. So after he does this, not that one, right after this one, what time is that? Oh yeah, there it is, 2:20. Does it move frame by frame? Oh yeah, 2:20. Okay, there it is, 2:20, 2:20:01, right there. Interesting. Okay, so I think I need to. That was 2:08. Why do I have 2:09 there? Was there two different times before that? Let me see. So that's one of them. That one's at 2:08:57. Oh yeah, no, that's not the same shot though. All right. So it's just 208 there, and then it doesn't, he's not there again until that second time. This one when he's running. All right. Okay, well, that one is actually 220 and 1 second. So I'm going to go back to that pin and then change that to 220.01. Right there. So he's going that direction. Then he goes all the way around over here. No, wait, that's different time. That was a different time. It was 208 here, and then 213 over there, then 216 at this corner, waiting for that guy. Then he goes around 218 there, 220 over here, and then where he goes after that, we don't know. Actually, we do know a little bit. Let's see. Hold on. Because I think he goes around the corner to the left, right? Jeez. Yeah, so we do know that. And we can assume that right here he goes around the corner again, like that. But then we don't know where he goes after that. I guarantee you they have more footage that would fill in time. It just isn't different, so they don't really care. I bet you they have almost every bit of the time in here. 220, and then all of a sudden later we see him at 252 crossing a street over here, and then we see him at 253 there, and then the shooting happens at 403. We don't know where he was between 253 and 403. Was he inside the building, etc.? Don't know. Anyways, I think I need to make an animation on this, and I think I can get this model in here. It won't be amazing, but you'll be able to sort of see the movements, etc. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll wait till tomorrow for the video release, and I can add in the suspect number 2. But anyways, looks like I've lost you guys' interest. Nobody's commenting on anything that I'm saying. So we're going to take off. So thank you to, let's see. Started the night off with Betty Black, then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, then Stephanie Sprague, and then Coyote Mom. And then we had Gene Salzman gifted a membership, Chris O'Connell gifted a membership, then C-Con 235 gifted one, and then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury gifted one, and then Wisconsin Cat Mom gifted a membership, then Bad Juju gifted 5. I think that was a challenge. Then Marty's, I keep wanting to say bed and breakfast. Let's see. Where is that one? Oh yeah, so we had Marty's Bar and Grill, then Chris O'Connell right after that, matched them with, so it's 5 gifted memberships in a row, then KMTX, and then we had Sandy Shirley, then Betty Black 99, then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury gifted a membership, then Betty Black gifted 5, then Sweet Lorraine, let's see, Kumari Azad came in. And then we also had Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, then Chris O'Connell, then Joanne Allen gifted a membership, then Richard Watts, and then Robert Galley, and then we had Gene Salzman, then Judy Grandstrand gifted a membership, then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. Thanks, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, you made a big difference. And then Bird Brain. And then Stephen Connerly gifted one. Then we had Glenn Bush gift one. And then Betty Black gifted one. And then Sarah with an H dishes. And then Sweet Lorraine, Gene Salzman gifted 1. Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then Marty's Bar and Grill gifted 5. Then Sweet Lorraine gifted 5. Then we had Coyote Mom gifted 1. And then Carrie MK8K. Then KMTX. Then Chris O'Connell. There was like a $2 holler. And then Linda Howell. Betty Blake. Lisa Valenzuela. Timothy Cecil. And Gene Salzman. Then we had Body Blow Biscuit Butter. I like that name. And then we had ILLNC, and then Chris O'Connell, Super Chat, then AECH7YK, then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, then, let's see, I'm Essential, gifted 5, then Lady Jane, and Chris O'Connell, and Marty's Bar and Grill, and Chris O'Connell, and then Big Fish, and then Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then Betty Black gifted 1, and then Marty's Bar and Grill gifted a super chat. Then something like Rouge Around gifted 1. Then we had Chanson Papillon gifted 1, and then Marty's Bar and Grill gifted 5. Thanks, Marty. Then Lynn Patricia gifted 1. Then Chris O'Connell gifted 1. Then Linda Cosma gifted 1. And then I gifted 5 because you guys did the 15. Then Ruthie Road super chat at the end there. And then I don't know if there's any coffees or anything. We'll have to go check. I did get a PayPal from Vinyl Val. And I think that's about it. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it. What? What are you looking at? Why are you saying gray, gray, gray? At some room with big cable glitch in the FBI deleted video after clip 13. I don't know. That's who knows if that's true or not. You think the FBI would even mention that? Anyways, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Well, put a link in our, in Facebook. I can check it out. I don't know. They have the video. The people, they can just go get the video back from the people. They just go, all they do is go to people's homes and take copies of it. Yeah, you saw it though. I mean, when you say deleted it, what do you mean? Oh, you mean that footage that had the words and then the video and then the words and then the video? Is that what you're talking about again? Yeah, they removed that. And I think they removed it because it had that second suspect in it. And then now they're talking about the second suspect. I think that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah, I recorded that. I have that video. Yeah, I think it's, let's see. It's right here, look. This is the one you're talking about, right? This one? Where it has that on there, the time, and then the time again, the address and the time, this thing? I'm not sure why I have it all rotated like that. That's what you're talking about, though, right? Yeah, I saw that. I mentioned that yesterday on the show, Zozo. The cable room. It's just all it is video. The last shot of it, and then it overlapped over the video. That's not why they removed that clip. That's just where the car gets stored. It's not a big deal. Let's see, 0. And let's see, maybe put that back in the middle where it's supposed to be, like that. Then I can take that and paste that on these two. Right. Yeah, so I was already pointed that out on the show. I said, isn't that weird looking where on this clip right here, right before it starts, there's like a couple frames. It's absolutely meaningless to anything. But, you know, you can make it into a conspiracy on Twitter. See that? This is just where the vehicle was parked prior. See? It's the same camera and everything. Must be the front of the vehicle. It's in a room where, you know, maybe this is where they work on the car. You know, maybe that's a tool drawer over there. Looks like one. And then that's just video that it recorded, and later it just sort of fades into that one. It doesn't mean anything. It's not why they deleted it. I think they deleted it because they realized the significance of this scene right here. That they didn't want to, wow, wait, there's this other guy, you know, right here. And then the next day, lo and behold, they come out and say, hey, everybody, we're looking for that guy. Yeah, I mean, it's just, all we're seeing is a little portion. It's probably a garage for the cop cars, where they work on it, do maintenance, etc. It doesn't mean anything. There's a tool drawer in there. Did you see that? Yeah. Anyways, yeah. As a Rhode Island native, thank you for looking into this. Seems like officials have no sense of urgency. Hey, well, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely tomorrow check in again because I'm going to be checking their website, getting the new videos, putting it into place, figuring, you know, we're just going to put everything together here. This is where you want to be, right here. What happened to the rest of the clips that I had in there? Sequence 1, 2, 3, 5. And then I think there was another one. This one. There you go. That's the key. That's the good one there. I wonder what that little buzzing sound is. Anyways, thanks everybody. Really appreciate it. If you guys make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, share, whatever. And we'll see you tomorrow, right? And thanks for all your generosity. We had a good night here. Probably made up for that one night this month. And we'll see if we can, you know, keep spinning on all cylinders, see what we can do. You know, trying to get to the point at the end of the month where we can give money out. I mean, I'm sure we'll be able to. We've already given some money out to different people. Like if you're a regular freak, you know, somebody that's been here for a long time and you're struggling, you know, send me an email, you know, see what we can do with all, you know, the sort of the crowdsourcing freak funding. All right. So thank you very much. We'll see you guys later. And yes, I am here in the dark, huddled up. And if you missed it earlier, Stacy Galloway sent a little basket of, had roses in it. It had a lit Christmas ornament and 6 massive chocolate chip cookies, which I've already eaten 3 of them. Thank you very much. Anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And again, thanks, you know, Chris O'Connell again, Marty, etc. You know, a lot of people in here tonight that, you know, made it kick ass. All right. Thanks again. See you later. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
That's right.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
Not even one grave.
Not even
crime
one.
Dissector, plug rejector.
I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get you on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector.
Crime sector
is my nectar.
Professor Grego's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector,
and I'm always gonna be a protector.
Fool deflector, interceptor,
and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector.
On his pector, with all respect, y'all.
Just remember,
I have a temple fucking check ya.
I have no agenda.
I'm a bartender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send you
on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Thank you for watching Grant Hughes Investigates, where we use logic, reason, common sense to figure out cases in the true crime realm. Thank you very much for watching, and as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there.
Bye. See you around.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, you guys are done clapping? Okay. All right. See ya.
See you around.
You are a curious being.